Even Yemo would need a few days to reach Jufu Mountain. Even Yemo would need a few days to reach Jufu Mountain. Yemo was very annoyed fire-eating bug demon escaped from the demon prison Forbidden Grounds. He was only truth realization state level 3 at the time and couldn't stop him from leaving. Now that he was truth realization state level 8, he wasn't going to let the same thing happen again. A day later, Yemo stopped Blue Moon. His spirit sense scanned into a small mosque in an ordinary village. What wasn't ordinary was that Yemo saw a familiar person there, Chung Nana. At this moment, she had shaved her head and became a nun. She held a stick and a wooden bell and just knocked dazedly. Yemo immediately knew something happened to her. Yemo walked towards the mosque without hesitation. Before he got there, a girl with freckles stopped him. "You men, are you not afraid of death? All of you are lustful demons. A few has died, and more wants to go in. Move aside," Yemo said coldly. Seeing Yemo was quite ferocious, the girl grunted, "Go in then, if you're not scared of dying." Seeing Yemo go in, the girl mumbled, "He looks quite good, but seeing a pretty nun, he can't control his pants. I have to deal with the body later." As soon as Yemo came here, a wind blade came. Clearly Chung Nana used it. She just subconsciously used it. Chung Nana was nascent soul state level 5. She didn't even need to use her brain to kill an ordinary villager. Yemo flung the wind blade away and walked in. As though feeling someone was here, Chung Nana looked at Yemo with her empty eyes. She didn't talk as though she didn't know Yemo. Yemo knew that Chung Nana was traumatized mentally. In another while, her cultivation essence would go into chaos and she would be dead for sure. Without hesitation, Yemo gave her a few clear mind spell. After that, Chung Nana breathed and opened her eyes again, but this time, her eyes were different. She quickly recognized Yemo and got up calling out in worry, "Brother." Yemo frowned. "Nana, what are you doing? Why don't you cultivate in Mo City? Why are you being a nun here?" Chung Nana dazed and teared up. Finally, she couldn't control herself and cried on the stone table nearby. Yemo didn't know why she was this sad, but didn't continue asking. He could ask after as she calmed down. After 5 minutes, Chung Nana eased up and got up. She sniffed. "Sorry, big brother. What happened? Tell me. Could there be anyone in Mo City to make you unhappy?" Yemo was speechless. Chung Nana quickly said, "No, it's just me. I don't want to cultivate anymore." Yemo sighed. "In that case, come back with me. Are you going to stay as a nun here for the rest of your life?" Chung Nana shook her head. "Big brother, sorry, I don't ever want to go back. I feel it's the same to live the rest of my life like this." Then, she began crying again. Yemo frowned and said with a tougher tone, "No, you must come with me. Just look at you, something might happen to you." She clearly didn't have the will to live before. Who knows what would happen if she would be like that again. She was fine with ordinary people, but if a slightly powerful cultivator came such as Golden Core State, she would be in danger. She was pretty and her storage ring would make countless cultivators drool. Yemo was thinking of what he should do if she didn't want to come when she agreed this time. "Yes, big brother." Yemo breathed easy. If she didn't want to, he couldn't force her. She wasn't a kid anymore. She made this conscious decision. When Yemo and Chung Nana got to the door, a Foundation Establishment State and Golden Core State came over. Seeing them, they dazed. "Big brother, it's this woman. Look at her hand." The Foundation Establishment State said to the Golden Core State next to him, and his eyes fell on her storage ring. The Golden Core State nodded and saluted with his fists. "Friend, everyone has a share, plus my brother saw her first. She's very pretty indeed. We don't take her person. We just want her storage ring, or we can share it." Yemo didn't expect that as soon as he thought she would be in danger, people really came. If he didn't come, and she stayed in that state, no one would know what would happen. Seeing this Chung Nana being surprised, Yemo sighed. "You were mindless, and that Foundation Establishment State wanted to rob your things but was struck by your wind blade. Now, he found someone else clearly to rob you. How long have you been here?" Chung Nana just realized she was a nascent soul state level 5, and yet a Golden Core State level 1 and Foundation Establishment State level 8 wanted to rob her. She released her flying sword without hesitation. The flying sword spun and flew towards the golden core state like lightning. The golden core state could only call out nascent soul state cultivator and was killed by the flying sword. The foundation establishment state was also killed before he could talk. Killing these two, Nana seemed to be a little relieved and felt better. She put away her flying sword and didn't dare to look at Emo. Big brother, sorry. Emo waved his hand. Don't always say sorry. I'm your big brother. This is nothing. What happened, tell me. Emo was happy with how decisive Nana was. She had been testing herself outside. Nana hesitated and said, Big brother, Emo could tell she didn't want to talk about it. It was her private matter. Emo couldn't really force her, so he said, since you don't want to talk about it, don't say it. When you're ready to tell me, then tell me. If not, you can try chatting to Yangzhu or Jingwen. Nana agreed. Emo took her on Blue Moon and said, I'm going to Jufu Mountain to kill fire-eating bug demon. If there's anything cultivation-related, tell me. Then, Emo took out a storage ring and gave it to her. There's many cultivation resources here. Your power is too low. You should be much stronger with your talent. You need to use time to cultivate. Emo said. However, Emo didn't expect her eyes to go red and start crying again. Fuju Mountain was a very ordinary place, but then a sect formed here, but it was also very ordinary. It was now famous as the fire-eating bug demon stayed here. Many people knew about fire-eating bug demon being annihilated by Chujuyu, but no one expected that this guy was still alive. Blue Moon stopped above the mountain, but Emo didn't go down immediately. This place was a mess. The mountains have collapsed, and ravines were everywhere. Blue Moon stopped above the mountain, but Emo didn't go down immediately. This place was a mess. The mountains have collapsed, and ravines were everywhere. Emo looked at the ground. There was fire-eating bug bodies everywhere. Emo immediately knew someone had a battle with a fire-eating bug demon here, but it wasn't clear who won. Emo knew that when he sliced off the fire-eating bug demon's arm, he probably didn't even 30% of his power left. Since he dared to come out, it meant he had completely recovered. A full-powered fire-eating bug demon with countless fire-eating bugs was only a little bit weaker than Hong Yixing. Now that someone could have a huge battle with him, and the outcome was undecided. Emo thought it was very hard to find someone like Yu Zizhen in the South Peace State, but since this person could fight with fire-eating bug demon, he was clearly on par with Yu Zizhen at least. Since that person could kill this many fire-eating bugs, he could probably kill Yu Zizhen. Emo scanned around and didn't see any signs of the fire-eating bug demon. Both those cultivators were gone. After a long while, Emo, spirit sense, stopped at a destroyed restriction, and looking inside, he realized why the fire-eating bug demon stayed here. He left behind a fire-eating bug hive here. From this, it was clear that his power hadn't fully recovered and ended up fighting someone here. The mountain was destroyed and countless fire-eating bugs died. Let's go. The fire-eating bug demon is gone. There's no point staying here, Emo said disappointedly. But suddenly, Emo said again, wait. Emo took Blue Moon in a blue and appeared before two girls. They too were about to leave and were shocked they were suddenly stopped by Blue Moon. It's you? The blue cultivator-robed female cultivator saw Emo and called out in shock. Huh, brother Yi, the other aqua-dressed female cultivator said worriedly. Her tone was even shaky. Emo knew both of them. The blue-dressed was Wen Tsai. After Infinity Sect was annihilated, they went into hiding. Emo thought they would reopen their sect somewhere, but he didn't expect to encounter Wen Tsai here. Emo didn't dare to believe the other one was Yunzi. Sword Valley was annihilated by Infinity Sect. Why was Yunzi with Wen Tsai? The two seemed to be very close. And why were they here? Emo didn't say anything and just stared at Yunzi. He completely ignored Wen Tsai. Brother Yi, I need to go with Tsai. There was more worry in her eyes, and she didn't even dare to look at Emo in the eyes. Z, Luo Fei, Gan Liang and them are all in MOU City. Are you not going to come back with me? Or do you want to explain things? Emo frowned and asked. Hearing this, there was more worry and guilt in Yunzi's eyes. When Tsai scanned Nana and said the tales are true, If Sister Z went with you, it would be bad. Even if you kill me, you can't stop what other people say. Yun Zi quickly stopped when Tsai, stop, Brother Yi isn't that sort of person. Then she said worriedly, Brother Yi, sorry, I won't go to Mou City. Tsai is blunt, don't take it seriously. Yi Mo said calmly, it's up to you if you go Mou City. I was just inviting you. Am I going to kidnap you there? But Yunzi, what I want to say is one shouldn't forget his roots. Sword Valley was annihilated by the Infinity Sect. Now you're with someone from the Infinity Sect. What is the meaning of this? Sorry, Brother Yi. I choose my own path. Sai isn't a member of the Infinity Sect now. She saved my life. Yunzi didn't know how to explain to Yi Mo really wanted to tell her about her father, but thinking of what she did, he suddenly lost interest. So, what if he told her? When Tsai suddenly pulled Yunzi and said, Z, do you owe him, or what? Did he help you with something? You don't owe him. Why are you being like this? Then she sneered at Yi Mo, City Lord Yi. Your power is higher than ours, and you can even easily annihilate 9-star sect. Of course it's easy for you to kill us. You can kill us, but what right do you have to make Z go with you to Mou City? Tsai, don't talk to Brother Yi like that. Yunzi said. Why are you here? Yi Mo lost the will to invite her to Mou City. When Tsai said coldly, City Lord, you were both women. We're doing some female private things. Are you going to ask about it too? Z, let's go. When Tsai pulled Yunzi onto the flying magic artifact. Brother Yi, I didn't do bad things, Yunzi said, and was flown away. Yi Mo didn't chase up. He didn't believe the two girls came here randomly, but Yi Mo wouldn't believe they would be able to fight with the fire-eating bug demon. Yi Mo suddenly thought of something and took the blue moon back to Jufu Mountain. The scene seemed like the battle of truth realization states, but when he checked it again carefully, Yi Mo sneered at the direction the two disappeared. He didn't chase up. He believed that Yunzi didn't annihilate the sects, but he guessed the two killed the fire-eating bug demon. He really didn't know how, though. If they didn't do that, they would set up a truth realization state battle scene. After standing for a long while, Yi Mo said slowly, Nana, let's go back to Mou City. Nana still hasn't said anything up until now. Blue Moon went very fast. Yi Mo wanted to take her back to Mou City so Jingwen and Yi Ling could come for her. A day later, Yi Mo scanned into Mou Lake. Tang Beiwei, Song Yangzhu, and Su Tong were talking. Su Tong also had red eyes and seemed very dejected. Brother, you're back, huh? Nana, you're back too? Tang Beiwei greeted, but when she saw Cheng Nana's bald head, her expression turned to shock. Song Yangzhu greeted. Yi Ling and Su Jingwen came over too. Yi Ling seemed depressed too. Seeing this, Yi Mo asked what happened. Su Tong didn't talk, but Tang Beiwei said before Yi Mo came back, Nana missed Zifeng, so she wanted to go out and search for him. Qingshua's sister was worried for their safety, so she left Brother Lin and sister Su Tong go with them. Su Tong suddenly said then, we encountered Zifeng in Yuo City. Yi Mo called out in shock. You found Zifeng? Where is he? Tang Beiwei said he was with Nangong Xiaodai. They seemed very intimate. Then, he cursed Nana saying that she was shameless for being with you. Then, he told Nana to piss off and never let him see again. Then, he said that Yi Mo has nothing to do with him anymore. Nana cried on the spot and charged out of the city. Yi Mo's face sunk. He knew Yi Zifeng's character. He wasn't this dominating person who would kick Nan crazily away before even knowing the situation. Why didn't Sister Su and Brother Lin stop Nana from going? Yi Mo was annoyed, but asked calmly. Yi Mo knew this Nangong Xiaodai, of course, one South Peace State 10 beauties. She was of the Nangong village. It was the original fish jump through Dragon Gate, the 9-star village. But Chu Jiyu left and the 9-star village declined, so the Nangong family took over. Yi Mo knew this Nangong Xiaodai, of course, one South Peace State 10 beauties. She was of the Nangong village. It was the original fish jump through Dragon Gate, the 9-star village. But Chu Jiyu left and the 9-star village declined, so the Nangong family took over. Lin Yibin constantly wanted to take it back, but He was only cauldron-filling state and was far from challenging the 8-star power. Yimo was planning to go over, but he didn't intend to help Lin Yibin. Lin Yibin probably didn't want him to help as well. To him, it would be the best if he took it back himself. Su Tong replied, Nangong Xiaodai and Yi Zifeng were outside. The young generation direct lineage, Nangong Pingjin, was there too. Lin Yibin saw him and sneered at him. Nangong Pingjin sneered back. If it wasn't that Yibin and I were part of Mou City, we might be killed on the spot. The argument caught a lot of attention. Yuban in his fury was about to attack, but he fell into Nangong Pingjin's trap. They gave out all their things to their side, and only kept an offensive magic artifact to have a battle to the death. No one knows where they went, but they both said in front of many people that regardless, no one else can intervene. When was this? Yimo felt something was wrong and asked. It's been a month after Yibin left. I was mindless and I didn't know Nana left. I waited for 10 days their BTU. Yibin didn't come back. In my worry, I came back to Mou City. Su Tong said. The more Yimo thought about this, the more eerie he felt it was. Chung Nana suddenly found Yi Zifeng, and why did Nangong Pingjin suddenly appear? Brother, that Yi Zifeng is too disgusting. This person is wasting spirit qi by being alive. Nana used her cultivation time to find him all these years. She finally found him, and yet he's such an animal.
Tang Beiwei said.
Then, she looked apologetically at Yi Ling, Sister Ling. Don't take it to the heart. Seeing Chung Nana was still crying, she turned around and comforted Nana. If I was you, I would have kicked away such heartless person. What's there to be sad about? Seeing Susu, Qingxue and them not being here, Yimo knew they were probably in solitary cultivation. Tang Beiwei was about to say more, but Yimo waved his hand. I'm going to Nangong Village. Su Tong and Nana come with me. I'll go too. Tang Beiwei said, without hesitation. Brother, I'll go ask second brother too. Yi Ling said. Yimo nodded. Beiwei, don't go. You have so much cultivation resources stacked here, and yet with your talent you're only nascent soul state level 9. Jingwen is about to reach cauldron-filling state. Even Yangzhu is catching up to you. Hurry up and cultivate. Seeing that Tang Beiwei still wanted to say something, Song Yangzhu quickly pulled her. Beiwei, your brother is right. The Immortal Ascension Tunnel is open now. Do you want to stay here by yourself when everyone ascends? Hearing this, Tang Beiwei immediately agreed to go cultivate. Be careful. Yimo has been cultivating very hard. Her progress is very fast, don't worry. Song Yangzhu tidied Yimo's clothes and said. South Peace City. The most heated discussion topic in restaurants and spirit rest towers was about City Lord Yi annihilating few 100 million sand soul beasts and then 1,000 km of spirit-devouring bugs. But the most catching topic was Yimo quenching the flames of the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds, as many people got extreme flame, star gold from there. The high-band spirit rest tower had a good location and fair price, thus it was very full. Hee. Those sects who left the Forbidden Grounds are probably regretting their arses off now. Extreme flame star gold, just one piece, and I'd be rich. Pity I wasn't there. A golden core state fantasized. So what if you were there? Seeing the 9-star sects leave, it would be a miracle if you stayed. Those who stay there either don't fear death or are noble. They deserve to get the extreme flame star gold. I heard that after City Lord Yi got to the Forbidden Grounds, he waved his hand and took all the flames inside. Then, there was extreme flame star gold everywhere. On top of that, City Lord Yi promised every cultivator who stayed there that he would concoct a cauldron of pills for them. Do you know that any cultivator who stayed there is highly sought after? At this moment, another golden core state middle stage fat cultivator said, did you know? Ethereal Immortal Pond Ho Fei Goddess openly said she would dual cultivate with City Lord Yi. But City Lord Yi ignored him. No way. Ho Fei Goddess is someone so prideful and cold. How is that impossible? It's definitely true. City Lord Yi is powerful, but he doesn't open up to change. If it was me, I would get her in my hands first. Such an ice-cold beauty. Fat man Fei, you don't want to live. You dare to talk about City Lord Yi and Ho Fei Goddess. Quickly shut up. At this moment, A dark ray flew over, and the fat cultivator's head was immediately smashed. Everyone got up in shock and moved aside. An extremely beautiful female cultivator and a white-robed man sat there without moving.
Everyone knew that they attacked.
Marshall's sister Lynn has such good moves. The white man applauded. The female cultivator looked at the white-robed man in contempt. Killing a golden core state insect is called good moves. The man coughed awkwardly, but the female cultivator said coldly, "If I hear anyone disrespect Ho Fei Goddess again, I will kill them all." All the cultivators nodded fearfully and quickly left. Seeing this, the beautiful young girl said coldly, "Insolent bunch, 1,000 km of spirit-devouring bugs. Is that something that humans can do? Quenching the flames, see forbidden grounds with a wave. They really know how to imagine. Extreme flame star gold. That's something of the cosmos. Since when was it everywhere in the cultivation realm? Bunch of idiots." Marshall's sister, "Why say so much to these insolent people? They don't know what the endless cosmos is," the male said sycophantically. This time, the female cultivator seemed to enjoy it and nodded. "You're really bad. You had one purple flame and was a level 6 pill king, but you lost to a guy younger than you." The male cultivator immediately said, "Marshall's sister, you can't blame me. That guy was acting weak. He was a mere nascent soul state cultivator and solo cultivator, so I didn't mind. But he started with soul flame and eventually took out mist lotus heartfire. If I knew he had it, I wouldn't let him step foot on the 12 pill king steps." The beautiful girl glared coldly at him. "Master gave you one purple flame, but you used it to lose to mist lotus heartfire." The male cultivator said awkwardly, "Marshall's sister, if you help me this time, I will do anything you tell me to do next time." The female cultivator said, "Master is preparing for immortal ascension. I came back to greet sister. I'm preparing to break through to truth realization state middle stage. I can only help you one last time. You're a level 6 pill king. You can deal with things yourself. How do you want me to help you?" The male cultivator said joyfully, "If you can take his mist lotus heartfire, I can do the rest myself. I'm going to beat him in pill concoction in the pill city and then kill him. I don't want the mist lotus heartfire. You can keep it. I know if you don't beat him in pill concoction, you will forever stay level 6 pill king." "Okay, I'll help you this time. Where is he?" The beautiful female cultivator said without hesitation. "Ever since I left South Peace State to find you, he was still in Pill City. Let's go there first," the white-robed man said. This white-robed man was Zhou Qian, who lost to Emo in the Pill King tournament. He went to get help in the Heartless Sea and didn't know all the things that happened in South Peace State. This white-robed man was Zhou Qian, who lost to Emo in the Pill King tournament. He went to get help in the Heartless Sea and didn't know all the things that happened in South Peace State. As soon as Zhou Qian and his martial sister got up, they were stopped by the two cultivators. They were clearly South Peace City guards. The female cultivator killed people here. They were clearly here to capture them. Seeing the city guard dare to stop her, she immediately released her chi. The guards were pushed back and said in shock, "Truth realization state Qianbei." Nangong Village was just an 8-star sect, but it was the most mysterious sect in South Peace State. It rarely had any public events, and no one went there. They rarely went out to events too. Even in this South Peace State disaster, they didn't show up. But now, Yemo was outside. He always wanted to see this FJW village. City Lord Ye's honored arrival makes the Nangong Village feel very proud. A disaster transformation state level 5 opened the door as soon as Blue Moon landed. Yi Mo nodded and took Yi Ling and them in without any precaution. Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense out. He wouldn't feel embarrassed, but soon he found there was formation everywhere. They were all very high level. Yi Mo guessed they were probably left behind by Chujiyu. "City Lord Yi, please." The disaster transformation state invited Yi Mo in. The village seemed very welcoming of Yi Mo's arrival. The disaster transformation state led Yi Mo to the main hall. The door was open and cultivators were already lined up as though welcoming Yi Mo's arrival. At the door was a middle-aged man. He had a smile of extreme confidence. Seeing them come in, he quickly got up and walked forward, saluted with his fists. "Nangong Village, Nangong Su, greet City Lord Yi." It's really the honor of the Nangong village for City Lord Yi to come here. City Lord Yi, this is our family leader Nangong Su. The disaster transformation state introduced. Su Tong said coarsely, Nangong village? This should be Chu family 9-star village. Nangong Su smiled plainly, Martial Sister Xu is right. This was indeed 9-star village before, but I don't know if it belonged to the Chu family. Because of this, I'm very regretful. But what's the difference if we call it different names? Nangong Pingjin and brother Yibin are both very talented, but their temper is too hot. Sigh. Nangong Su then said respectfully, City Lord Yi please have the upper seat. Yimo was speechless. Even Yimo felt this Nangong Su was too shameless. What right did a disaster transformation state level 9 to be this cocky? Yimo was speechless, but he just walked up to the top seat and sat down. Then he said, where did Lin Yibin and Nangong Pingjin fight? Then, Yimo realized he saw wrong. Nangong Su was no disaster transformation state level 9, but truth realization state level 4. He used a stealth cultivation method. Even he almost missed it. This was definitely top-grade stealth technique. It might have been left behind by Chu Jiyu. Yimo scanned around. Only Nangong Su was truth realization state cultivator amongst these people. Yimo wasn't sure if there were more truth realization state, but Yimo was certain that the Nangong village was number 8-star sect. Hearing that the first thing Yimo asked about was Lin Yibin and Yi Zifeng, Nangong Su was a little surprised. What? Is there something you can't talk about, sect leader Nangong? Yimo's voice suddenly went cold hearing that Nangong Su didn't answer. Even if Lin Yibin was unable to beat Nangong Pingjin, he would go disappear. After all, the two's power were similar. Before, Yimo thought that the Nangong village definitely wouldn't dare to attack Lin Yibin, but now he didn't think so. They hid so much, and even the sect leader was truth realization state level 4. No, it's that they really flew off too fast. We don't know where they went to fight. I've sent people searching for a month, and there's still no news now. Nangong Su quickly got up. Yimo sneered, tell Yi Zifeng to come. Seeing that Yimo finally talked about Yi Zifeng, Nangong Su quickly said, Zifeng and Xiao Dai are together. He doesn't want to come out, he says might as well not see each other. Yimo said calmly, I'll wait 10 seconds. If I don't see Yi Zifeng, Nangong village will become a thing of the past. Everyone in the hall was furious. They heard Yimo was dominant, but didn't expect he was dominant to this extent. Nangong Xu's veins popped out, but he still said calmly, City Lord Yi is quite funny. Yimo glanced at Nangong Su and said, sect leader Nangong thinks I'm a funny person? 10 seconds is about to be up. This time Nangong Su didn't talk and said to a nascent soul state cultivator, invite him over. Yes. Moments later, Yi Zifeng and an extremely beautiful woman appeared here. They held hands and were indeed extremely intimate. Chung Nana saw Yi Zifeng and her eyes went red, but when she saw Nangong Xiaodai next to him, she didn't dare to talk. She even lowered her head. Compared to Nangong Xiaodai, she was far too low. Yimo dazed when he saw Yi Zifeng. He heard Chung Nana say that he didn't have spirit root, yet Yi Zifeng was hollow spirit state. What was going on? Second brother, why don't you talk to Nana? You know we're all at MOU City. Why don't you go over? What did big brother owe you? Why do you undermine him? Is it all for the woman next to you? Nana had been searching for you for a few years, and you treat her like this? Yiling bursted out a series of questions. Nangong Xiaodai frowned but didn't talk, and just looked at Yi Zifeng. Yiling, if you're willing to listen to me, stay with me here. Don't go back to MOU City. As for the bitch next to you, I hope you don't stay with her. Yi Zifeng said calmly. There was no joy of siblings' reunion. Yiling looked dazedly at Yi Zifeng. She couldn't believe her brother was like this. Chung Nana didn't expect she was still cursed after coming with Yimo and immediately cried out. If Yimo wasn't here, she would have ran off already. Yiling and Su Tong quickly went to comfort her, but they didn't know how to. Second brother, how can you treat her like that? Are you being controlled or possessed? Yiling began to suspect. Yi Zifeng was a very amicable person. How could he suddenly be like this? Yimo suddenly said he's not being controlled nor possessed. Even if Yi Zifeng got a spirit root, He was only a hollow spirit state cultivator. What right did he have for the Nangong family to value him? If they wanted to use Yi Zifeng against him, it was possible, but then Nangong Xiaodai shouldn't be given to him. She was very talented and beautiful. Why would they casually give her? Yi Mo could easily tell that they had already slept together. Yi Mo had no blood relations with Yi Zifeng, and seeing this attitude, Yi Mo completely ended the thought of letting him go back to Mou City. He couldn't even be bothered talking. He stared at Nangong Su, sect leader Nangong. I'll give you a day. If Lin Yibin still has no news, I will still annihilate the Nangong village. Nangong Su dazed, and after a while he said, City Lord Yi, are you going to be reasonable? You're right, I'm not a reasonable person, Yi Mo said coldly. Such dominance. Yi Zifeng sneered. Yi Mo was decisive and said coldly, Yi Zifeng, it has always been you owing me. I don't owe you anything and I have no relationship with you. You made my Luo Yu into a mess, and I didn't kill you not because of your dad and that little power of your Yi family, it's because of past relations. Now, our relationship is severed. If you dare to challenge Mou City or me, I will annihilate you too. Yi Mo was decisive and said coldly, Yi Zifeng, it has always been you owing me. I don't owe you anything and I have no relationship with you. You made my Luo Yu into a mess, and I didn't kill you not because of your dad and that little power of your Yi family, it's because of past relations. Now, our relationship is severed. If you dare to challenge Mou City or me, I will annihilate you too. Yi Zifeng shivered. He had only seen Yi Mo do this to others, but now that Yi Mo said this to him today, he felt cold and didn't dare to say anything. Seeing big brother and second brother fight with each other, Yiling was losing her mind. She didn't know who to comfort. Why couldn't the three siblings cooperate in this unfamiliar land? She reminisced the Luo Yu times. She couldn't cultivate, but the three siblings were united. But Yiling knew Yi Zifeng was her real brother. Yi Mo had no blood relationship to her. She should be helping Yi Zifeng and stay at Nangong village. But she knew Yi Zifeng's guess was purely unreasonable. Yi Mo would definitely not do anything with Nana. Yiling, if you trust me, stay with me here. We're blood-related siblings. Are you going to trust an outsider? Do you not want to trust me? Yi Zifeng didn't dare to talk to Yi Mo, but talk to Yiling. Yiling was already lost, and now that Yi Zifeng said this, she cried on Su Tong's shoulder. She didn't know what to choose. Su Tong comforted Yiling. At this moment, Nana suddenly took out a necklace and smashed it. Then she took out a red booklet and ripped it to pieces and said with decisiveness, Yi Zifeng, thank you loving me before. Big brother was going to kill me, but you saved me. I'm an orphan. I have no parents. No one has ever treated me genuinely like you. I thought in this life I would be satisfied with you. But today I realized I'm wrong to you. There are things more important than me. I regret letting you take me into that teleportation formation, but I'm also glad I did this. Otherwise, how would I know this is the real you? Don't undermine Big Brother. It's okay if you do that to me. I owe you, but Big Brother doesn't. I don't owe you anything from now on. I'll give back what you gave me. Seeing the smashed necklace and torn book, Yi Zifeng suddenly felt something in his heart was taken away. If there was someone who knew him the greatest, it was Nana. He could tell what she meant just then. She meant that he was willing to undermine his big brother to reach his goal. Soon, Yi Zifeng cast that sliver of emotion aside. There was a sliver of sadness in his eyes. But Yi Mo felt something wrong. After Nana threw the things away, she suddenly patted at her head. Clearly, she wanted to suicide. Yi Mo sighed. Nana's hand was locked in space by his domain. Su Tong and Yiling just realized that Nana wanted to suicide. Nana, what are you doing? Yiling cast her worry aside and quickly held Nana's hands. Nana smiled bitterly to Yiling and then walked out and bowed to Yi Mo, big brother. Thank you for saving me again. Yi Mo sighed, Nana, what can't you get over? You've lived on Earth before. There are so many people who divorce, but they still live. Nana shook her head. Big brother, I forgot about the past. I'm going. Where are you going? Come back to Mou City with us. Yi Mo said worriedly. Nana bowed to Yi Mo and said, Big brother, that's the last time I will suicide. It won't happen again. I won't go back to Mou City. I have been living for others before. From now on, I will live for myself. If you're concerned about what other people say, then don't worry. Just cultivate in Mou City, and one day you will be able to ascend to the immortal realm. Yemo said. He was afraid that Chengnana was tried to avoid rumors, and thus left. Then she turned to Nangong Xiaodai. Nangong Xiaodai, you're indeed prettier than me, but someone who can abandon a wife who stayed with him through the hard times won't necessarily keep other things. Then, Chengnana walked out of the hall slowly. Yi Mo knew that after this, she would never come back. Yi Zifeng completely traumatized her. No one knew why she left. Only Chengnana knew herself. It wasn't to avoid rumors. She didn't care. She stayed at Mou City because Yi Mo was Yi Zifeng's brother. Yi Ling was also at Mou City, and there were other influences. She might as well leave early. Yi Ling looked dazedly at Chengnana's disappearing figure, and after a long while roared at Yi Zifeng. Yi Zifeng, did your conscience get eaten by a dog? Is it just because this woman is prettier?
Why?
Tell me. For some reason, Yi Zifeng didn't say anything, and just stood silently. No one knew why he did this other than himself. No one knew what he went through after leaving Chengnana. No one knew what torture he went through. When Chengnana was standing happily and talking with her martial brothers, he was like a dog crying far away. After countless misfortunes, he decided that even if he was about to die, he would cultivate. The hall fell silent due to Chengnana's departure. Nangong Xiaodai could tell Yi Zifeng was despondent and held his hand closely. Clearly, she cared a lot about him. The Nangong village is very regretful that this happened. Xiaodai and Zifeng's connection is very deep. Nangong Su saw Yemo's face was bad and was scared he would find an excuse. Su Tong sneered coldly. Nangong Su, stop calling here Nangong village. This isn't Nangong village. This is Chu family 9-star village. Hearing this, Nangong Su was scared that Yemo would make them leave and give this village back to Chu family, so he quickly said, City Lord Yi, this village indeed belonged to the Nangong family before. Hearing this, Yemo felt strange. Was there something here? Nangong Su didn't want to give this up at all. Would a master like Chu Jiyu set up a village at an ordinary place and place so many formations here? But he couldn't really search the entire place over now. Ha, Su Tong laughed. Nangong Su, don't you feel embarrassed? 9-star village belongs to Nangong family? How come I heard that the Nangong family was only a house servant of the Chu family? However, Nangong Su said calmly, of course there are some things you don't know. When Chu Jiyu came to South P State, he was far from his prime. He had a master here, and that master was the ancestor of the Nangong family, Nangong Zaitian. Our ancestors stayed at the Fish Jump Through Dragon Gate village, but at the time it wasn't a village yet. Then my ancestor left this place to Chu Jiyu and another ancestor of the Nangong family. Chu Jiyu established Fish Jump Through Dragon Gate village here. The other ancestor of ours didn't like to fight over power, so he became a manager here. Regardless of what village this was called, all the managers had the surname Nangong. I believe you know this, right? Hearing this, Su Tong was lost for words. Nangong Su made Su Tong shut up. Nangong Su made Su Tong shut up. Yi Mo was speechless. He wasn't planning on helping Lin Yibin get back the Nangong village, but now that it was uncertain if the village even belonged to them to begin with, the more he couldn't intervene in this. At this moment, a flying sword suddenly flew in and landed on Su Tong's hands. Su Tong looked at it, and there was overjoy in her face. Yibin is back. He's in Yuo City. Then, she got up. Clearly she couldn't wait to see him. Yi Mo glanced at Nangong Su. He was certain that Lin Yibin wasn't back, due to the Nangong family. They were testing his bottom line. If he didn't overreact, then Lin Yibin might never come back. There was no way Nangong village could leave an enemy like that growing in the Mou city. But Yemo's reaction was far beyond their anticipation and said multiple times he would annihilate the village. Thus, there was news of Lin Yibin so quickly. Yemo suddenly asked, is Brother Lin injured or not? If he's injured just a little bit, I will get it back for him. No, Yibin says he's very fine. If I go back to Mou City, he would go back immediately too? Su Tong said. Yimo nodded. It's not far from Uo City here. Tell him that we'll come over soon. If he's injured, I will come back. Hearing Yimo's threats, the Nangong village cultivators were furious, but no one dared to say anything. Anything that Yimo did wasn't something the Nangong village could defend against. No matter how powerful they weren't as powerful as the Pill City and the 1,000 km of spirit-devouring bugs. Yimo got up. He came to bring Yi Zifeng back, but now they were basically enemies. Even though he came, Yi Zifeng was still like this, meaning he had made up his mind. Yiling was still hesitant, but seeing how Yi Zifeng almost forced Qing Nana to suicide, she got up with Yimo without hesitation and left the village. Yimo looked at Nangong Su and smiled before adding, Sect leader Nangong, you better not give me an excuse to annihilate the Nangong village. If I have this excuse, I will annihilate it without hesitation. Nangong Su was shaking with anger, but there was nothing he could do. Power was everything in the cultivation realm. Yimo seemed unreasonable, but there really weren't much like him. If it was some other cultivator, he wouldn't need an excuse to annihilate Nangong village. Yimo could indeed annihilate them, but he really couldn't do it. There was no enmity between them, and this was private matter between Chu and Nangong family. It wasn't good for him to intervene. He wasn't alone, and have some fame in South Peace State now. He finally built up some connections for Mou City. He killed the 11 Truth Realization State of Pill City, Lightning Cloud Sect, and Infinity Sect because they had great enmity with him. People wouldn't say anything. If he annihilated Nangong village for no reason, no one would dare to say anything, but South Peace State cultivators would look at Mou City with a completely different view. Yimo didn't want Mou City to become an overlord. He was Mou City Lord now, but he was going to immortal ascension sooner or later. Mou City would still exist. If everyone hated Mou City, then no matter how powerful Mou City, it wouldn't last very long. Nangong Su looked at the people behind and said, You saw what happened today. I just hope you can all remember the insult of today and get revenge for the family one day. Seeing the three go, Nangong Shaodai clenched her fists and said, I will definitely kill this arrogant bastard. Pill City was still much more prosperous than ordinary cultivation cities, wasn't on the same level as before. Outside a luxurious room, 5 cultivators were discussing something. One man and woman was Jiu Qian and her martial sister Lin. But now, their face was very bad. Chong Shun Pil King, is Yimo really that powerful? He killed 11 Pill City Truth Realization State together and annihilated 2 9-star sects and even 1,000 km of spirit-devouring bugs. He even quenched the flames of Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds? Jiu Qian's martial sister confirmed with a frown. Chong Shun Pil King nodded, that's absolutely true. My disciple has great enmity with Yimo. He would care about his every action. There's crystal ball here. Then, Chong Shun Pil King took out a crystal ball and an egg-sized or look at it, this is it. The female cultivator didn't look at the crystal ball but grabbed that egg-sized ore and exclaimed, this really is extreme flame star gold? There really is such thing in the cultivation realm? That's for certain, look at the crystal ball. Chong Shun Pil King nodded. It was the quenched flame sea forbidden grounds inside. Hole saw it clearly. After a while, she exclaimed, there's actually such an unfathomable person in this world. She looked at Jiu Qian for a long time and didn't talk. Jiu Qian's mood was very dejected. He didn't expect that after all the effort he used to bring his martial sister here, she was far weaker than Yimo. Seeing her look at him, how could he not know what she meant? He said helplessly, let's go back first. It's impossible to get revenge. Luckily, we don't have some big conflict. Worst case scenario, I'll stop pill concoction and focus on immortal cultivation. Jiu Qian Pil King, revenge isn't for now. Yimo's luck if dominant, but just because he is cocky here doesn't mean he can be cocky in the immortal realm. My disciple has great enmity with him, but as long as you can ascend to the immortal realm, that little enmity means nothing. Chong Shun Pil King smiled. Yi Yushin quickly said, my grandpa has ascended to the immortal realm. Even if ascends to immortal realm, he's dead, if we find my grandpa. The old man who hasn't talked at all suddenly said, Yushin is right, Lightning Cloud sect and Infinity sect has been passed down for countless years. There are many cultivators who ascended. If we can bring news that Emo annihilated their sect up, he would have nowhere to hide. Jiu Qian didn't say anything, however. He didn't want to kill Emo. He lost his confidence in the Pill King tournament, and thus his path of pill concoction ended there. Thus, he wanted to beat Emo in pill concoction, otherwise, it was pointless to kill Emo. Ho Lei shook her head and gave back the extreme flame star golds. This material is indeed very good. The old man smiled. I was good friends with your master nine-fingered Pill King Huitan. Sigh. It's been countless years, and your master is about to ascend in the Heartless Sea, but I'm struggling at Truth Realization State Level 7. He pointed at the ore. You can have this, or I have nothing to give you.
How can that be?
Yi Qianbei, this is too precious. This person was Pill City Grand City Lord, Level 8 Pill King Yi Wuheng. The old man waved his hand. To be honest, I need a trouble brother. Who too? He pointed at Yi Yushin. He can count as a martial descendant of mine, but he has no mind to cultivate in the Pill City. If Emo comes to Pill City, I wouldn't be able to protect him. I want to ask you to take him to the depth of the Heartless Sea and let him cultivate there. Thinking about how large the Heartless Sea Islands were, so it was fine to bring an extra person there, and if her magic artifact had this, or it might become low-grade immortal artifact. She got up and said, City Lord E, don't worry. When I leave, I will take Yi Yushin with me. I need to go see my sister at Ethereal Immortal Pond now. Thinking about how large the Heartless Sea Islands were, so it was fine to bring an extra person there, and if her magic artifact had this, or it might become low-grade immortal artifact. She got up and said, City Lord E, don't worry. When I leave, I will take Yi Yushin with me. I need to go see my sister at Ethereal Immortal Pond now. Chang Shun Pill King sighed. One of Emo's wife Ningqing Xue is also from Ethereal Immortal Pond. If you go there, the news might soon reach Emo's ear. I believe with Emo's vengeful nature, he wouldn't let Jiu Qian, who caused him so much trouble on the Pill King tournament. Ho Ling thought and agreed. Jiu Qian, martial brother, was Master's favorite disciple, but if he died in South Peace State, even Master wouldn't be able to get revenge. Thinking about this, she nodded and said, in that case, let's go now. Yuo City wasn't a big cultivation city, it was undeveloped. In a decent spirit rest tower, Emo, Yi Ling, Su Tong, and Lin Yibin sat together. Emo was asking what happened in this month while Yi Ling's mood was low. I was tricked by Nangong Pingjin into fighting to death with him. But after we left the city, I realized that I was Cauldron Filling State Level 2, and he was only Cauldron Filling State Level 3, so I wasn't afraid of him. When I was trapped by a formation, I knew that if I wasn't at Mou City before, I would have been dead. The Nangong family saw that my power grew too quickly and thus was set on killing me. Then why did you go with Nangong Pingjin? Su Tong reproached. If City Lord didn't go to Nangong family, you would have been killed this time. Nangong Su is testing the bottom line of the City Lord. If City Lord didn't get angry, do you think you could have come out? Seeing Lin Yibin about to thank him again, Emo waved his hand. Brother Lin, no need to say thank you. When you decided to come with me at Pill City, we're together. But I need to remind you, if one of you don't reach Truth Realization State Peak Stage, I suggest you don't touch the Nangong village. Hearing this, Lin Yibin asked in shock, why? He thought he could take back Nangong village at any time when he reached Truth Realization State. Emo said heavily, because they're not an 8-star sect but a 9-star sect. I don't know how many Truth Realization States there are, but I know Nangong Su is Truth Realization State Level 4.
What?
Lin Yibin exclaimed, and then fell quiet. He knew Emo wouldn't be lying. Nangong Su definitely wasn't the most powerful person there. He was Truth Realization State Level 4. What about the elders there? After a while, Su Tong said in shock, then why don't they say it? Why do they stay as 8-star sect? Emo said heavily, that I don't know, but I feel the village is very strange. There's a strange chi there that even I can't see through. And the formation levels are very high. Lin Yibin saluted with his fists. City, Lord, I know what you mean. I won't act impulsively. If I don't have the power to get back the Nangong village, I will ascend to the immortal realm and tell this to Ancestor Jiyu. Yi Mo nodded. Chu Jiyu was an immortal formation master in the cultivation realm, but Chu Xiaoi was Chu Jiyu's master, and yet he was not at that level. This meant that Chu Jiyu probably learned his formation skills from Nangong Zaitian. Thus, the formations at the Nangong family are very high level. He asked again, why did Nana find her way to Yuo City? Nana said Yi Zifeng can't cultivate, so with his personality, he would use all means necessary to cultivate. He was an ordinary person, so he couldn't go to a cultivation city. Yuo City was a semi-cultivation city, so there were a lot of mortals there. The chances of finding him there would be greater. But as soon as she came, she found Yi Zifeng and Nangong Xiaodai. Su Tong answered. Yi Mo Thoth, it seems they were waiting there for you. Yi Zifeng clearly knew we were at Mou City. Yiling suddenly said, Big brother, if second brother offends you in the future, can you spare his life and not kill him? Yi Mo frowned. I can't promise you. I can only say that if he's only disrespecting me, I won't mind too much, but if he dares to touch anyone next to me, I won't let him live an extra minute. Yiling sighed and didn't say anything. Big brother was showing a lot of mercy like this. Yiling still doesn't understand why Yi Zifeng would turn out this way. Yiling don't think too much. He has capabilities to be able to connect to the Nangong family. Yi Mo said calmly. How could Yiling not hear Yi Mo's implied meaning? The Nangong family was this forbearing. If Yi Zifeng thought he could use them, he would be devoured clean. Yi Mo thought so indeed. He didn't know why Yi Zifeng had to stay there and create conflict between them. Would the resources of Mou City be less than Nangong village? Was there level 9 Pilking there? Su Tong suddenly said, City Lord, should we restrict Nangong village from participating in flowing snake auctions? Yi Mo shook his head, no need. If they really want the truth spirit pill here, we wouldn't be able to stop them. They can find someone else to buy it for them. Suddenly, Yi Mo's face changed and waved his hand. Wait. Yi Mo stepped out of the spirit rest tower, but the next moment, the figure he was searching for was gone. Yi Mo rubbed his eyes. He clearly saw an old man. It was the Tianze master he met in the small world. He just saw him walking on the streets, but how was he gone? Yi Mo reached out his spirit sense, but even at max range, he couldn't find the fortune teller Tianze. Instantly disappearing from his spirit sense, what was this power? Yi Mo began to sweat cold. This old man was too strange. He came from the small world teleportation formation, or did he come through another mean? Yi Mo walked to the place where the old man sat and looked carefully. There was nothing extraordinary. He looked at the merchant selling low-level spirit herb and asked, was there a fortune teller here? The merchant glanced at Yi Mo and said yes, he was a fortune teller, and he predicted my fate. He said that I can't set up a stall today, and told me to pack up early. He also said that if I speak with someone who has one missing of the 5 elements, my head will be broken. He's full of shit, and I told him to go away. As soon as he said this, a ferocious woman came with a stick and smashed it at the merchant's head. How dare you steal my spirit herb? I'm going to smack you, shameless bastard. Is it easy for me to grow those spirit herbs? The stick landed on his forehead, and before he could react, blood fell down. However, he didn't wipe the blood, and just kept murmuring, he's a god. Yi Mo clearly didn't have the mood to care about this. Missing one element, the old man was talking about him. His Golden Page World had 4 seats and needed one more. To him, Golden Page World was his biggest secret. No one knew except those few closest to him. This Tianze knew he was missing one element. Does this mean he knew he had the Golden Page World? Yi Mo's mood turned shit. It's been 1 month since Yi Mo had gone back to Mou City. Yiling started solitary cultivation as though completely forgetting about Yi Zifeng. But Yi Mo knew that it hurt Yiling and Cheng Nana greatly. Knowing Nangong Village's power, Lin Yibin worked very hard to cultivate. It's been 1 month since Yi Mo had gone back to Mou City. Yiling started solitary cultivation as though completely forgetting about Yi Zifeng. But Yi Mo knew that it hurt Yiling and Cheng Nana greatly. Knowing Nangong Village's power, Lin Yibin worked very hard to cultivate. After concocting pills for the people at Flowing Snake City, Yi Mo went into solitary cultivation too. He felt his power didn't have much of an advantage over Hollow Immortal. Of course, more importantly, it was because of that Tianze. He seemed to be everywhere. If he used some other means to come to Luo Yu continent, then he would be the scariest. He seemed to be able to predict fate very accurately. He knew that Mu Xiaoyan would be his wife, and that he was missing one of the 5 elements. Yi Mo wondered if he knew about the Golden Page world, and everything that was inside. Despite knowing that Tianze didn't seem to have any ill will towards him, Yi Mo felt a sense of danger. No matter who Tianze was, Yi Mo felt increasing his power was the most important thing. Only when he had a certain level of power could he take control of things. Yi Mo didn't hope Tianze predicted he had Chaos World. He wouldn't care if it was a small world as they were rare but not unique. Chaos World was something every cultivator wanted. If this news was leaked, he would be hunted forever. At Yi Mo's residence in Mou Lake, he surrounded himself with all sorts of restrictions. Yi Mo was in his Golden Page world. He had spirit-controlled the spear and samsara bottle he got from that Hollow Immortal. They were both low-grade immortal artifact. The golden brick he hacked open was a half-immortal artifact. Yi Mo didn't touch the stone table Lu Jingquan set up. He didn't feel he could control something that a powerful being of the immortal realm L equals placed down. He tried to spirit control the soft ore from the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds, but it was of no use. 1 month later, Yi Mo came out of solitary cultivation. He got news that Tang Mengrao would be leaving. Yi Mo was going to accompany her for a while. What Yi Mo didn't expect was that when he came out, there was not only Tang Mengrao but Qian Wei and Shan Bingfeng, who also came. Other than them, Mo Ming, Shilwan and Jingfengji from Godwind Valley, Heaven Demon sect were here, and Abstruse Sound sect here too. This meant all the 9-star sect people were here. Mo Ming, Shilwan and Jingfengji clearly felt a little awkward seeing Yi Mo. They were prepared to leave South Peace State, but then they got news that Yi Mo quenched the Flame Sea Forbidden Grounds and annihilated the spirit-devouring bugs. Then, Yi Mo concocted pills for the cultivators who stayed behind. This news soon spread through South Peace State. The sects and solo cultivator who stayed were all famous now. 2 5-star sects due to Yi Mo's favor had advantage in the sect member intake process. The most embarrassing was Godwind Valley. Mo Ming left South Peace State already in order to get a spot in the Heartless Sea quickly, but before his flying ship went into the Heartless Sea, he got news to come back. Some cultivators even recorded this into a crystal ball and spread it around. Yi Mo didn't care, however. This was too ordinary in the cultivation realm. There was no point in saying who was right or wrong. What he was worried about was that was there something else now that they all came here again. City Lord Yi, it's indeed a big mistake of the Godwind Valley. I came to apologize, Mo Ming said. Yi Mo waved his hand. No need to bring up the past. Did something happen again in the South Peace State for you all to come here? Qian Wei quickly said, City Lord, you don't misunderstand. There's nothing at the South Peace State. This time, we came one to thank City Lord Yi, and another to accompany sect leader Tang to leave South Peace State. Yi Mo was confused. Tang Mengrao was famous, but she was nothing compared to them here. Why would they come to send her back? Qian Wei seemed awkward. Shan Bingfeng came to explain the teleportation formation of South Peace State was about to be destroyed. City Lord Yi repaired it, and now it can still be used. News came from North Far State that they were unaffected by the Great Calamity. This time we plan to go see North Far State with sect leader Tang. The excellent disciples of North Far State are all cultivating in South Peace State. If something happens to North Far State, they wouldn't want to see it. Yi Mo nodded. That's a good thing. Yi Mo was implying that there was no need to come and tell me this. Wan Shi continued, this is good indeed, but the teleportation formation of East Black State was completely destroyed. There's still no news from there. Martial Sister Shan and sect leader Qian Wei thinks, sect leader Jing, and I should go to East Black State, but we're not good at formation, Yemo realized. So you guys want me to go East Black State too? Qianwei said awkwardly, that's what we mean indeed. We know City Lord Yi is very busy and hadn't even gotten a good rest after coming back. Yi Mo nodded, it's fine. I'm actually planning to go East Black State anyways. Then this is perfect. Sect leader Qian Wei nodded. Yi Mo smiled. I believe I would be fine to go East Black State alone. You guys know my power. I believe I should be fine going there. Plus I know a quick way there. This is perfect. Since City Lord Yi wants to go alone, then we'll go check out North Far State. West Extreme State is powerful, so they should be able to solve their own problems, but North Far State and East Black State needs our help. Qianwei said. City Lord Yi, I heard Nangong Village is actually 9-star village, but they hide themselves as 8-star sect. Jing Fengji suddenly said. Yi Mo dazed. He didn't spill this out, but then he immediately realized that probably Lin Yibin or Su Tong said. This was drawing enmity to Nangong Village. Yi Mo agreed, that's right, they are indeed 9-star sect. Sect leader Nangong Xu is Truth Realization State Level 4. The few 9-star sect leader fell in silence, and no one said anything. After a while, Shan Bingfeng broke the silence. Let's go do what we should do first. As for Nangong Village, hiding their power is their own business. With City Lord Yi in South Peace State, I don't believe they would be able to cause any trouble. Yi Mo personally sent Tang Mengrao and Shan Bingfeng and them out of Mou City. Then, Yi Mo prepared to go through Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds to East Black State. Yi Mo didn't like the place, but it could save a lot of time. He didn't want to go with others to East Black State because he wanted to take Luoying there. They both came from East Black State. Susu, why are you out of solitary cultivation? Yi Mo looked at Luoying, who was already waiting for him, and Jia Yokue next to her. Luoying smiled. I was long finished. I heard Qianwei sect leader invite you to go East Black State, so The two glanced at each other and smiled. Why is Yokue here too? Yi Mo asked. Jia Yokue quickly said, Qianbei, there's still no news of my sisters and Auntie Yi. They definitely didn't arrive at South Peace State, so I'm afraid something happened to them at Heartless Sea. Thus, I want to ask Qianbei. Yi Mo nodded. I'm planning to go with Susu to East Black State. We can go to your place to check. But Heartless Sea is this big. It's really too hard. Don't have too much hope. Plus don't call me Qianbei anymore. I'm friends with your father and we're similar in age. Just call me Big Brother. Yi Mo nodded. I'm planning to go with Susu to East Black State. We can go to your place to check. But Heartless Sea is this big. It's really too hard. Don't have too much hope. Plus don't call me Qianbei anymore. I'm friends with your father and we're similar in age. Just call me Big Brother. Yes. Thank you, Brother Yi. I know it's very hard to find them, but if I don't go once, I wouldn't be able to rest my mind my entire life. Jia Yului said gratefully. Yi Mo nodded. He knew what she meant. He was planning to go Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds, but now he would just go via Heartless Sea. Yu Zizhan attacking Jia Feng was rather related to him. After leaving Qingxue and them, Yi Mo left Mou City matters to Tang Beiwei and Su Ping, and then took Luoying and Jia Yokue into the Heartless Sea. Yi Mo followed Jia Yokue's guide, and Blue Moon didn't reach the top speed in the Heartless Sea. At the start, she knew what she was talking about, but as time went on, she gradually lost a sense of direction herself. Yi Mo had to use the compass to help again, but soon, he felt something was wrong. Blue Moon went into a region of the sea that was covered in mist. The compass was completely useless. Yi Mo didn't know how big the Heartless Sea was, but he knew that even with Blue Moon's speed it wasn't easy to circulate the Heartless Sea a few times. Yi Mo was certain they had entered an area where no cultivators had come before. It was getting darker and darker as they went in. We seem to be lost. Luoying whispered to Yi Mo. Yi Mo nodded. Yes, we're indeed lost. Spirit sense is also greatly affected here. My spirit sense is only 1/5 of its original range. Brother Yi, I'm sorry. Jia Yokue apologized. Yi Mo turned back and smiled. It's fine. It's not the first time I got lost. When I got lost in the void, I still found my way back. The Heartless Sea is this big. It's not strange there are peculiar places. Don't worry, I'll bring you guys out for sure. Brother Yi, you've been to the voids? Jia Yokue asked. Just when Yi Mo wanted to answer, a black figure as fast as Blue Moon appeared in his spirit sense, and it came charging right at them. Before Yi Mo could think, he moved Blue Moon to the side a little. The black figure dashed past Blue Moon and disappeared in Yi Mo's spirit sense. What is it? Jia Yokue and Luo Ying both saw the black figure. If it rammed into Blue Moon with such speed, even a low-grade immortal artifact would be breaking apart. Don't know. Be careful. This place is strange. I'll find a way out quickly. Yi Mo just said this, and another black figure dashed over. This time, he couldn't even dodge in time, but luckily, it only brushed past Blue Moon. Yi Mo's face finally changed. He took out an extreme-grade cultivation artifact and gave it to Jia Yokue. Susu has defense magic artifact. Spirit control this and put it in front of you constantly. Then, Yi Mo said to Luo Ying, Susu, take out your defense magic artifact and stand behind me. Emitim. Luo Ying took out the white silk scarf Yi Mo made for her. It was an extreme-grade defense magic artifact. Shadowless created limited amounts of silk, and thus Yi Mo only make two. One was at Luo Ying, and one was with Yi Mo. Jia Yokue's face was pale, and she quickly took the defense magic artifact and started spirit controlling it. Yi Mo carefully maneuvered Blue Moon while his spirit sense carefully monitored the nearby few hundred-kilometer Luo Ying stuck closely to Yi Mo. She was afraid Yi Mo would be focusing too much on the distance that he would miss the situation nearby. Blue Moon slowed down, and there was no black shadow coming over for a long time. Now Luo Ying asked, did we enter a formation? Yi Mo shook his head, probably not. If this was a formation, its level would be too high. I think we've mistakenly entered an unknown region of the Heartless Sea. Look, we can't even see the sky now. Visibility is getting lower and lower. If we don't find a way out quickly, we might be trapped here. Then, another two black figures shot over, brushing past Blue Moon. Blue Moon spun many circles before stopping. The black figures started to congregate, and finally one crashed into Blue Moon's tail. Blue Moon was immediately injured, but the black figure seemed to be fine. Yi Mo put away Blue Moon and released Octagonal Cauldron and said to the two, Blue Moon is too big. Stand next to me. It's easier to dodge with Octagonal Cauldron. There were more and more black figures now, but since Octagonal Cauldron was much smaller, they were only hit twice despite passing through dense regions. Yi Mo received some backlash, but Luo Ying and Jia Yokue were fine. A day later, Yi Mo and them stopped on an barren island. Yi Mo put away the Octagonal Cauldron and saw there were no shadows coming here. Yi Mo's spirit sense couldn't even scan to the end of this place. Despite his spirit sense being limited, it still meant that this place was huge. There's no black figures here. Wait for me. I'm going to see what they are. Before Yi Mo finished, he stopped as he saw there were people on this island. Two cultivators were charging over at him. Haha, there's more fresh spirit source. I saw it first, the leading man said. He was Disaster Transformation State Level 4, and the cultivator behind him was Disaster Transformation State Level 5. Luo Ying was Hollow Spirit State Level 7. Jia Yokue was Hollow Spirit State. The two cultivators stared at the three like hungry demons. The two girls subconsciously hid behind Yi Mo and released their magic artifact. The two came up to them quickly, but seeing Yi Mo's calm face, they didn't attack. Where is this place? Yi Mo asked. The sunken-eyed cultivator said, you're at the Heartless Sea corner. And yet you ask where this is? Jia Yokue suddenly shrieked, I know where this is. Yi Mo nodded and said, just say it. We can get out for sure. The Disaster Transformation State Level 4 laughed and pointed at Yi Mo. He still wants to go out after coming to the sea corner. Is he crazy? We can have one woman each and split the belongings. See, we're too lucky today, the Disaster Transformation State Level 4 said excitedly. However, the sunken-eyed cultivator frowned. He felt something was wrong and didn't answer the Disaster Transformation State Level 4. Yemo was long impatient already and grabbed the disaster transformation state level 4 with cultivation essence giant hand. You're quite lucky indeed. Truth realization state Qianbei, the disaster transformation state level 4 didn't expect this young cultivator to be truth realization state Qianbei. Mercy, yet he was crushed by Yemo's cultivation essence giant hand. The sunken Ahaid cultivator's face immediately went pale, and he knelt down without hesitation. Wanbei mu wuhui greet truth realization state Qianbei, please have mercy. Yemo ignored him and said to Jiayokui, UK, keep talking. Jiayokui knew Yemo's powers and wasn't afraid, but she still said, my dad said that the scariest place in the Heartless Sea was the sea corner. No one had seen this place, as all who went in had disappeared. It can also appear in different places of the Heartless Sea. Jiayokui knew Yemo's powers and wasn't afraid, but she still said, my dad said that the scariest place in the Heartless Sea was the sea corner. No one had seen this place, as all who went in had disappeared. It can also appear in different places of the Heartless Sea. Heartless Sea sea corner? Yemo frowned and asked. He was truth realization state cultivator, but he had never heard of such place. Yes, my dad said those who see it wouldn't be able to come back out. Jiayokui said with certainty. Qianbei, Wanbei knows, Mu Wuhui quickly said. His back was drenched in sweat. It was no different to being dead here, but who would want to die if they could live? Get up and talk. If your information satisfies me, you can live. Yemo nodded. Yes, Qianbei. Mu Wuhui immediately got up and said, this is indeed the Heartless Sea corner. It's also true that no one has been able to get out after coming in. Once you come in here, you would never be able to ascend to the immortal realm again. Just like heaven border of Luo Yu continent, Heartless Sea corner would appear at random places in random times. Yemo asked again, there's a lot of people on the island? They're all cultivators caught in here? Mu Wuhui quickly said, yes. This island is called Sea Corner Island. There's about 100,000 people on here. More people died before getting to the island. Because spirit chi is arid and it's very hard to cultivate, some people can only die when their lifespan are at their end. There's no other places to stay except the island. In other places, you would immediately be killed by the corner soul weed. Those black figures are corner soul weeds? Yemo asked in confusion. The spirit chi here was indeed very scarce. It was worse than spirit chi arid places in North Far State. Yes, those black figures are corner soul weed. Corner soul weed is very precious. It's called weed, but it's actually a type of ore. If you catch it and use it for cultivation, you can improve your spirit sense very quickly, without side effect. Apparently, if used with spirit nourishing well, it can increase spirit sense many times, but both are very rare. Mu Wuhui answered. Jiayokui asked, there's a lot of corner soul weed here. How is it rare? Mu Wuhui said respectfully, there are a lot of corner soul weed, but they're unable to be caught. Even on the island, there is very few cultivators who can catch them. They can occasionally catch one if they're lucky. Plus, there are two types of corner soul weed. One is clear weed, and one is dark weed. Dark weed can't be caught with spirit sense, and is faster than clear weed. However, its effects are more potent than clear weed. Yemo nodded. It seemed there were too many things in the cultivation realm that he didn't know. This corner soul weed seemed to be the perfect thing for him. His spirit sense was powerful, but he felt it was his weakest. If he didn't get spirit nourishing well, it would be much harder for him to annihilate the spirit-devouring bugs. The more he got better at Heaven Flame 9 Suns, the more requirement it had on his spirit sense. Corner soul weed was fast, but Yemo wasn't worried he wouldn't be able to catch them. But that unseen dark weed would be a little troublesome. When they came in, there were corner soul weed everywhere, but even Yemo didn't dare to catch one. If he divided his attention, then he might be rammed by another. If he was by himself, he would have no pressure, but he brought Luo Ying and Jiayokui. But now there was this island. It was much easier for Yemo. Yemo saw the dull gray mist outside the island and knew it wasn't good to go out now. He might as well get to the island and understand the situation. lead the way to the island.
Yemo said.
Mu Wuhui saw that Yemo had no intentions of killing him and breathed easy. He quickly said, "Okay, please come with me, Qianbei." Then Mu Wuhui kept explaining, "There's a city in the center of the island. It's called Sea Corner Island. It was set up by Qianbais who came before. The most powerful two people in there are Truth Realization State Level 9, so Qianbei needs to be a little careful." Yemo said calmly, "Lead the way, I know the rest." "Yes." Mu Wuhui thought in shock. Where did Yemo get this confidence from? Sea Corner Island was big, but with their speed, they soon reached the center of the island. There were no defense formations here, nor city guards. Clearly, they knew no cultivators nor spirit beasts would come unless it was cultivators who mistakenly got caught in here. There was a simple city in the center. It wasn't big and much smaller than Ninghai City on Earth. The city walls looked simple, but inside, the cultivation grounds were very well built. There were defense formations and good planning. The city streets were also well divided. The only thing was that he didn't see any bars nor spirit rest tower. There was only a moderate-sized market. Seeing Mu Wuhui bring 3 in, many people threw over-admiring glances. Some people also looked over with confusion. Theoretically, cultivators would kill newcomers or take their things and leave. If you brought new cultivators here, that meant you took their things and other cultivators would turn their attention to you. "Mu Wuhui, give me this female cultivator. I'll give you 1,000 top-grade spirit stones." One disaster transformation state level 7 cultivator walked over and pointed at Yemo. Luoying frowned, but before she talked, Yemo waved in the air and a cultivation essence giant hand slapped the face of this disaster transformation state level 7. He was sent flying, and so was half of his face. Yemo's slap had another wave of cultivation essence that would turn the cultivator into a bloody mist when he landed before Mu Wuhui could warn this cultivator. The disaster transformation state level 7 slapped away, but before he landed, he was caught by another cultivation essence giant hand. This cultivation essence giant hand expelled the second wave of cultivation essence and put a pill in the disaster transformation state's mouth. The disaster transformation state level 7 was scared soulless. How could he not know he offended a truth realization state cultivator? He quickly sat down to recover. The truth realization state then walked up to Yemo and sneered, "You're only truth realization state level 8. Do you think you're the strongest now? You're so cruel, wanting to kill as soon as you come to my Sea Corner City. I want to see how powerful you are." Then he casually glanced at Luoying and Jiayokue. There was a sliver of fire that others didn't see. But Yemo saw this, and his killing intent rose. He immediately knew that if he didn't come, Luoying and Jiayokue would be gone. This guy was only Truth Realization State Level 9, a bit far from Truth Realization State Peak Stage 2. "Mu Wuhui, you brought these 3 in." The Truth Realization State glanced coldly at Mu Wuhui. Mu Wuhui immediately began to shake. He didn't expect Yemo to offend the Vice City Lord immediately. He said shakily, yes, Xiaman and I saw them at the island, and this Qianbei told me to bring him here. Where is Xiaman?" The Vice City Lord probably guessed that Xiaman was killed by Yemo, but he still asked. Mu Wuhui shivered. He didn't know if he said it that Yemo would be furious again. Before he made a decision, Yemo said coldly, "I killed him." The Truth Realization State Level 9 sneered, and suddenly released a metal umbrella. He said to the 2 disaster transformation state behind him, "Take the 2 female cultivators back." The Truth Realization State Level 9 sneered, and suddenly released a metal umbrella. He said to the 2 disaster transformation state behind him, "Take the 2 female cultivators back." Then, heavy explosion sounded from his metal umbrella. The black cloth on the umbrella surface turned into a huge dark net and disappeared. Then, the umbrella opened up and nearly 1,000 white rays blinked. They shot out and divided into countless silver needles. The umbrella handle didn't attack. Clearly, he felt he didn't need to use it. Space began to condense as the Truth Realization State Level 9 attacked. A black net that was almost 100 meters in diameter was above Yemo's head and sealed the space around Yemo. Under this situation, even if one could escape the terrifying silver rays, he would be caught by the black net. Even if he wasn't caught by the net, there was a black umbrella handle spear that was waiting to devour you. The two disaster transformation state saw the Vice City Lord had attacked and avoided the battle center, charging at Luo Ing and Jiao Kue. Yi Mo sneered. While the silver rays were still dividing, he released Zisu. He didn't even look at where the beams were, he just hacked out a strike. A purple beam flashed, and the white beams were swept. Crack, the umbrella bones were shattered, and the silver rays disappeared. However, the purple ray didn't stop. It suddenly divided mid-air in half. Splurge, splurge, two blood rays flew. The two disaster transformation state cultivators turned to bloody mist, and even their essence spirits were melted by the purple ray. The Vice City Lord's face changed greatly. He didn't dare to hold back and pierced out with the umbrella handle while the net loomed down quickly. Yimo's power was far beyond his expectation. Just one purple ray, and it destroyed his silver beam space, and even destroyed the umbrella bone. The umbrella handle pierced, bringing out a dark ray. At the same time, a huge explosion sounded in the center of the ray. Yi Mo reached out with his hand and actually grabbed at the center of the explosion. Meanwhile, Zisu didn't stop and hacked down again. The truth realization state level 9 rejoiced seeing that Yi Mo dared to grab his umbrella handle. Thud! The explosion was caught by Yi Mo's hand while Zisu shredded the dark net. The truth realization state level 9 was completely dumbfounded. He didn't dare to believe his eyes. Someone could grab his umbrella bone explosion with his bare hand? Only now did he realize how great the difference between them were. He didn't even have the time to beg for mercy as he gritted his teeth and a red bow appeared in his hand. At the same time, a thick red arrow appeared on it. He spat many mouthfuls of blood, and the arrow shot out. It tore through the air, and a red arrow that was thicker than a bucket shot out, sealing the space nearby immediately. This was the first time Yi Mo showed a serious look. The cultivator's power was average, but this bow was very powerful. He put away Zisu and brought up his two hands. Space around him immediately began to slow down. Crack, crack. The truth realization state level 9 felt his domain crack and the red arrow began to slow down. The truth realization state level 9 realized that Yi Mo didn't even try before and he quickly called out in shock, "Friend, stop. I admit defeat." Yi Mo sneered and grabbed at the red arrow with his cultivation essence giant hand. The truth realization state level 9 immediately knew that Yi Mo was determined to kill him. He cursed and wanted to self-destruct, but soon he found he couldn't even do that. Yi Mo's domain was too powerful, and it was getting stronger too. "Friend, City Lord Feng has admitted defeat. Please stop." Another figure came over. Yi Mo didn't seem to hear it. Hollow Immortal Cultivation Essence giant hand grabbed at the slowed arrow. Despite being confined by his domain, Yi Mo's Cultivation Essence giant hand still crippled when he grabbed this arrow. Without hesitation, Yi Mo grabbed with his hand and grabbed the arrow before punching out. Good arrow and good bow, but pity you're so weak you can't even draw the bow, and you want to use it to kill someone. A cultivation essence fist reached the truth realization state level 9's Dan Tian. This was the last words he heard in his life. Never had he thought he would be killed by a cultivation essence giant hand.
Thud.
Blood mist splashed out, and the red bow and his storage ring fell into Yi Mo's hands. That figure who told Yi Mo to stop looked dazedly at the bloody mist and couldn't say anything for a long time. It had only been 2 seconds since he spoke, and in this time Yi Mo already killed the truth realization state level 9 Vice City Lord. Yi Mo played around with the red bow and arrow and felt it was no ordinary thing. After a long while, he slowly put it away. The cultivators around here were all scared to talk. The Vice City Lord was someone that no one even dared to speak loudly in front of. If he wanted anything, you would have to give it to him if he gave it an extra glance. If he liked any female cultivator, she would have to go sleep with him. Sea Corner City was a dead city. There was no hope of immortal ascension nor spirit chi for cultivation. Even women were limited in the city. If the woman was slightly good-looking, she wouldn't be able to escape the Vice City Lord or his men. If it was some other place, No one would be mesmerized by lust, but in this place, women were their only entertainment. Mu Wuhui was shaking. He rejoiced he didn't offend this tough guy. From now on, this guy would be the number one here. You're the city lord? Yi Mo asked. This cultivator was also Truth Realization State Level 9. He had been watching on the side and only came out when he was about to kill the Vice City Lord. The Truth Realization State Level 9 quickly saluted with his fists. Yes, I'm the City Lord here, Wang Jing. Did friend just come here? He sounded very polite, as though Yi Mo didn't kill the Vice City Lord just then but was a new guest. But everyone knew Wang Jing was scared of Yi Mo. That's right, I just came to Corner Island and splat a few annoying flies. Yi Mo said calmly. Wang Jing smiled awkwardly. That's right. Feng Xian has been abusing low-level cultivators with his power and let his men abuse their authorities too. If it wasn't that there's nowhere to go, all the cultivators here would be gone. Yi Mo didn't show any expression, and so Wang Jing could only continue. Now that friend killed him, you've given the island some peace. Friend is now the city lord. I'm willing to hand over the position and be vice. What's your name, friend? Yi Mo knew what Wang Jing thought. He was scared that he wanted the city lord position and would kill him. But how could Yi Mo stay here and be city lord? He would rather tear open void and go into void fissure than stay here and die. Yi Mo knew what Wang Jing thought. He was scared that he wanted the city lord position and would kill him. But how could Yi Mo stay here and be city lord? He would rather tear open void and go into void fissure than stay here and die. Yi Mo stopped him. I'm Yi Mo, City Lord Wang. I won't stay here and be City Lord. I just want to ask one thing. Has there been any clues of leaving here after all these years? Wang Jing smiled bitterly. Brother Yi, I don't know if the Qian Vice before me thought about going out, but I've tried many times, and each time I almost died to the corner soul weed, especially the dark weeds. Later on, I gradually gave up the thought. Each year, there would be many cultivators trying to leave here, but none of them came back. I don't know if they found a way out or died in here. There's no exit in the sea corner. Yi Mo frowned. He didn't expect the city lord to have no clues after searching for all these years. Brother Yi, now that Feng Xian isn't here, his home is very luxurious. That place belongs to Brother Yi now, Wang Jing said. Yi Mo interrupted and said, no need. I have my own place. Then you city lord Wang. Yi Mo didn't have any good impression of this Wang Jing, plus there were many places to stay in the city. Then, Yi Mo took Luo Ying and Jiayokue to an empty ground and released a house-shaped magic artifact. Instantly, it turned into a mansion that was a few hundred meters squared area. It was a house cultivation artifact. All the cultivators were dazed. Even Jiayokue looked at Yi Mo in a daze. Who would spend money to buy such a cultivation artifact? It was extreme-grade cultivation artifact too. Did he not have a place to spend spirit stones? Only Luo Ying knew that Yi Mo made this house cultivation artifact himself. There was everything inside. Yi Mo took the two inside. He didn't worry there would be danger outside. This was a space cultivation artifact, and he set up a level 9 defense formation. Even Truth Realization State Cultivator wouldn't be able to break it quickly. Seeing the three go in, Wang Jing shook his head. This cultivator was too wealthy. Extreme-grade cultivation artifact house. This was luxury amongst luxury. It was completely just for the looks. Only an idiot would spend large amounts of spirit stones on that. Brother, you have such good thing? My dad said extreme-grade cultivation artifacts are very expensive. As though remembering Yi Mo gave her an extreme-grade cultivation artifact, she quickly took it out and gave it to Yi Mo. Brother Yi, you lent this to me. I don't need it now. Yi Mo pushed it back to her and said, I have a lot of these. You can keep it. This was the first time she had heard someone say he had a lot of extreme-grade cultivation artifact. Even a top-grade forgery grandmaster wouldn't have a lot of that. Luo Ying smiled. Yi Mo indeed has a lot of it, just take it. Yi Mo was a top-grade forgery grandmaster and got a lot of materials from Suo Anshan. His things were all top-grade, and he also collected a lot of materials himself in the Void Fissure. In terms of materials and spirit herb, It was hard to find someone wealthier than Yi Mo. Hearing this, Jiayokue accepted it. Brother Yi, what do we do now? Jiayokue was very happy getting an extreme-grade cultivation artifact, but being trapped on this island was very depressing. Luo Ying wasn't worried at all. Her face was very calm. She believed Yi Mo would have a way out. Don't worry, Wang Jing was rubbed of his edges by time and just wants to live. But there are still many relentless cultivators here who would want to go out. Even if they find a way out, they wouldn't tell anyone. We just need to set up a sign saying that cultivators who want to go out and know some clues can collaborate with us.
Yi Mo said.
The island wasn't small, but the city wasn't big, so news spread quickly. In half a day, the news that a top-grade master who killed the vice city lord in less than 10 seconds spread out. Those cultivators who had enmity with Feng Xian rejoiced. News of them staying in an extreme-grade cultivation artifact house spread even faster, so when Yi Mo was searching for collaborators to leave here, news spread out to everyone. Wang Jing was constantly watching Yi Mo's news, and when he heard about this, he shook his head in contempt. Countless people had wanted to leave here in history, but who could do it? How many people were trapped in the sea corner who didn't want to come to the island? But which few lucky ones could come to the island? They were at the island now. They should be rejoicing, not finding a way out and killing yourself in the process. Don't worry about him. After a while, he would know there's no way out and he would settle down and come back to the island. Wang Jing waved his hand to his men. Almost everyone was discussing about Yi Mo, that Yi Mo actually wants to collaborate with people to leave the island. Do you think there would be idiots to go join him? A few bored body condensation state cultivators were discussing in the market. An extremely tall man said in contempt. Would you go cooperate? Someone asked. Am I an idiot? Would I go do it when I know it leads to death? The tall male cultivator rebuked unhappily. Pity, one cultivator said. Pity what? Pity those two female cultivator, especially the yellow-robed one. It's definitely the prettiest female cultivator I've seen in my life. Would they be able to live if they go with Yi Mo? Do not want to live. Shi Xiaowu dared to pay 1,000 spirit stones to buy her, and he was almost slapped to death by Yi Qianbei. Feng Shi backed him up and was killed. City Lord Wang Jing killed Shi Xiaowu in order to suck up to Yi Qianbei. How dare you discuss that female cultivator? Can you be quiet? No one would know here. Are you going to dob me in? Where did Shi go? He wouldn't dob me in, right? He's not that type of person, but it's possible he might be willing to collaborate with Yi Qianbei. In a simple room, a skinny black man and a square-faced, robust man sat opposite each other. The skinny black man was Shi. He couldn't sit anymore hearing that Yi Mo was looking for ways to leave the island. You're saying we should collaborate with that Yi Mo who just came? The square-faced man replied heavily. He was Shi's brother Xiane. A few decades ago, they got caught in here chasing a spirit beast. Yes, brother, do you not want to go home? We're both body condensation state. If we waste more time here, he would die.
Xiane, she said.
Xiane shook his head. You know I've been wanting to find a way out. How do I not want to go home? If I don't want to leave, why do I go out every day searching for a way out? But that Yi Mo's too powerful and very decisive in killing. If we accidentally offend him, we would be dying here. Xian 11 immediately answered, Yi Qianbei is very powerful indeed, or he wouldn't kill Feng Xian so easily, but the stronger he is the better. It's our opportunity, otherwise, even if we have some clues, we wouldn't be able to leave. Plus we're men, so what if we die? It's better than doing nothing and living here. Sister-in-law has been waiting for you for a few decades. Do you not miss her? Xiane sighed, but we're only body condensation state, and he's a truth realization state. Qianbei, what right do we have to cooperate with him? We have decades of experience of searching the sea corner and some knowledge of getting out. If we don't grasp this chance, we won't ever get an opportunity. Xiane, she said. Xiane fell silent for a while and suddenly got up, but we need watch for a while and see what sort of person that Yi Qianbei is. At the border of the island, Yi Mo appeared here alone. He left Luo Ying and Jiayokue back at the city. At the border of the island, Yi Mo appeared here alone. He left Luo Ing and Jia Yokue back at the city. This was a dead island, and Yi Mo believed no one would dare to do anything to them. Plus, he set up level 9 attack and defense formation. Without Luo Ying's permission, no one would be able to get close. There was very little corner soul weed near the border of the island. Yi Mo stood in the air and left the island. As he slowly entered places with more corner soul weed, he let out his spirit sense carefully. A black figure flew over and Yi Mo sidestepped while hacking out with Zisu. Thud. The corner soul weed changed direction and completely disappeared. Meanwhile, another powerful force came smashing at Yi Mo. He moved to the side, almost being smashed by another black figure. Yi Mo was sweating. With such speed, even with his God-state body refinement, it was hard to say he wouldn't be injured. It seemed they were quite lucky to be able to find the island so quickly from the sea corner. Yi Mo set his mind and saw another black figure flying over. This time, he released Zisu and burst out his cultivation essence. Purple Ray hacked out rapidly and smashed into the bulk figure. Rumble, Yi Mo attacked with full power this time. The black figure paused, but before Yi Mo could rejoice, he saw the black figure suddenly explode into countless sparkles. Yi Mo dazed. Nice power. Yi Mo's spirit sense saw another figure and heard his voice. Seeing someone stay in here, Yi Mo rejoiced, but before he could say anything, that person said again, "Friend, you can hack apart corner soul weed. You're very powerful. Ordinary people can't do this." Then, the person raised his thumb at Yi Mo. Yi Mo smiled. "You're not bad too for being able to stay here for so long." This cultivator was Truth Realization State Level 4. However, he shook his head. "I'm different to you. I've stayed here for few centuries. I know these corner soul weed all too well, both clear and dark weed. You hacked away corner soul weed just then, but you used the wrong method. That way induces concussion. Look at me." The Truth Realization State Level 4 released a spear and pointed at a black figure coming at him. Yi Mo was shook. This Truth Realization State Level 4 was so casual. With corner soul weed's toughness and speed, how could they be flicked away like that? But what shook Yi Mo was that the Truth Realization State Level 4 pointed the spear on the corner soul weed, and it changed direction and flew off. You used a transfer technique? Yi Mo realized. This man only changed the direction of the corner soul weed through redirection. The Truth Realization State Level 4 nodded. Yes. This way you can dodge corner soul weed with extremely little cultivation essence, but it's impossible to catch them. You have to use another way. A black figure came. Yi Mo flung Zisu, and it quickly changed direction. After looking at it once, the Truth Realization State Level 4 stared at Yi Mo in shock. Yi Mo smiled. "Your move is nice, Yi Mo. I just came here." The cultivator admired Yi Mo greatly and said without hesitation, "I'm Gu Hezhou. I've been here for more than 200 years. You've been living in the sea corner? Why don't you go to the city?" Yi Mo asked. Gu Hezhou nodded. "Yes, but this isn't a dangerous part of the sea corner. It's at most the safest place in the sea corner. It's mostly clear weed. If you go to the most dangerous place, there would be dark weed everywhere. Even I wouldn't be able to survive for long. I have a place at the city, but I don't like that vice city lord, and I can't beat him, so I spend most of my time here catching corner soul weed. I would only go back when I need to go to the market." Yi Mo was going to say he killed Feng Xian, but hearing this he immediately asked, "How do you catch corner soul weed?" Gu Hezhou shook his head. "It's very hard. I can occasionally can one and sell it to Sea Corner City. Each one can exchange for large sums of spirit stones. In the city, there really aren't many cultivators wealthier than me. Hee." Yi Mo suddenly asked, "Can you sell one to me?" "Yes, but the price is very high. I need 8,000 top-grade spirit stones for one, but I feel like you're a good person. I can give it to you for cheaper." 5,000 is enough," Gu Hezhou said. Yi Mo was dazed. This was a very high price? 8,000 top-grade spirit stones. He would sometimes reward city guards more than this. "If you don't have enough spirit stones, you can owe me. You're more powerful than me and much smarter than me. I believe you can catch more than me," Gu Hezhou added, seeing Yi Mo didn't talk. Then, He casually took out a dark gray ore and put it in Yemo's hand. Yemo looked at it. When he held it, there was a sense of comfort coming from the depth of his soul. Yemo didn't even cultivate and felt his essence spirit grow bigger, and his spirit sense grew a little too. They were not only very useful for spirit sense but also stabilized soul and essence spirit / this is good. Yemo couldn't help saying. Gu Hezhou smiled. This is just the lowest grade corner soul weed. If you see higher level ones you'll know what is truly good. As for those dark weed, they're very rare high level product but I've never caught one. You need to go to the depth of the sea corner, and I don't have that power currently. Hearing this, Yemo knew he had to grab a pile of corner soul weed before he left, or it would be a waste coming here. After a while, Yemo put it away and gave Gu Hezhou a storage ring. Thank you. You can have these spirit stones. If you have a better way of catching corner soul weed, teach me too. Gu Hezhou, dazed seeing Yemo gave him spirit stones with storage ring, but he quickly took it and said it's fine. It's quite boring catching corner soul weed here alone. Huh. Gu Hezhou's face was red with excitement, and he said his disbelief. This is too much. 1 million spirit stones. How can I use that much? However, Gu Hezhou wasn't keen on giving the storage ring back to Yemo. There was no resource nor spirit stones on THS Island. Corner soul weed was good, but it cultivated spirit sense. Spirit stones was the most valuable resource on the island. It was unsustainable resource. Yemo smiled and waved his hand. These spirit stones are useless to me. Take it. When I've collected enough corner soul weed, if you don't mind, then come find a way out with me. I trust there's a way out. Gu Hezhou thanked Yemo and was going to give more corner soul weed to Yemo, but Yemo rejected. He didn't need 1 or 2, he needed large sums. Seeing this, Gu Hezhou's impression of Yemo grew even better. He said, Brother Yi, it's definitely fine catching corner soul weed with your power here, but I suggest Brother Yi give up the thought of leaving here. Perhaps one day, if we reach truth realization state peak stage, we can leave through immortal ascension. Otherwise, this isn't a place people can leave with their own power. Yemo dazed. He thought Gu Hezhou would want to leave here, since he was catching corner soul weed for a few hundred years. But clearly, he was rubbed of his edges by time. Yemo pitied this experienced person couldn't work with him, but he still respected Gu Hezhou's thoughts. Gu Hezhou felt embarrassed and took out a net-shaped magic artifact. This is the way I collect corner soul weed. I'll show you. Gu Hezhou released his net magic artifact and waited on the side. After a while, a black figure shot by rapidly. Gu Hezhou suddenly released a spear and the black figure changed direction immediately. Gu Hezhou clearly couldn't control the direction, and it only brushed past the net. Gu Hezhou said in embarrassment, these corner soul weed have different speed and power. It's hard to control, and my success rate isn't high. If I catch them with my net, I can follow them and slowly capture them. Gu Hezhou said in embarrassment, these corner soul weed have different speed and power. It's hard to control, and my success rate isn't high. If I catch them with my net, I can follow them and slowly capture them. Yemo nodded. He realized Gu Hezhou's method. He would set the net and wait for corner soul weed to come. Then he would change direction and make it fall into his net. There was a fine golden strand in his hands, and it was like a fishing line. This way could catch corner soul weed, but it wasn't what Yemo wanted. He saluted with his fists to Gu Hezhou. Thanks for your teaching, Brother Jiu. I'm going first. Gu Hezhou thought Yemo was going to see Corner City, and quickly said, Brother Yi, if you want to go, you must not spill your spirit stones. Otherwise, that Vice City Lord Feng Xian won't let you go. This person is extremely shameless and lustful. Yemo smiled calmly. Don't worry, I already killed that Feng Xian. I'm going. If we have time, we can catch up in the city. Then, Yemo disappeared. He needed to catch corner soul weed, and clearly dark weed was more enticing to him. Just the lower level clear weed made him feel so good. Just how powerful should the dark weed be? What? You killed Feng Xian? Gu Hezhou asked in shock. Then, he realized that Yemo had left already and was more shocked as he found that Yemo was heading towards the depth of sea corner. Clearly, he wanted to hunt higher level corner soul weed. even dark weed. Crazy, he's really crazy, Gu Hezhou murmured. He knew that Yemo quite possibly might never come back again. The dark weed was scary, but Yemo wasn't worried. He had the experience of dodging space chaos flow and space wind blades in the Truthfall Palace. He just needed to set up a cultivation essence force field, and when unseen things enter it, the cultivation essence force field would change. But now, if Yemo expanded out his domain, he would be able to know when the dark weed came. However, there was also great danger as the dark weed was too fast. Even if he knew he might not be able to dodge it. This was why other cultivators didn't dare to try. If you couldn't dodge it, you would be smashed to death. Multiple dark figures came. Yemo didn't dare to keep going in more. There was enough corner soul weed here. He used Gu Hezhou's way, Zisu spat sword ray, and easily changed the direction of those corner soul weed flying at him. However, domain was limited in use against corner soul weed. The divided sword ray each had some of Yemo's spirit sense and could accurately change the direction of the corner soul weed. If other people couldn't put spirit sense on their sword ray, they wouldn't be able to do this.
Thud.
A wave faster than clear weed charged into Yemo's domain. Before Yemo could even react, the power smashed into his chest. Yemo's cultivation essence rustled and almost spat blood. That power changed a direction after knocking him over and disappeared. Domain had a little use on the clear weed, but couldn't slow the dark weed at all. So this is dark weed, so powerful. Yemo ate a pill and was shook. This was him. If it was some other person, that strike would either kill or heavily injure the person. Yemo calmed down and tried thinking of a better way. A day later, Yemo entered the Golden Page world to rest. After a day, he had some familiarity with the corner soul weed. He was attacked by dark weed a few times, but they didn't hit him. However, his spirit sense and cultivation essence was very exhausted. Yemo used that corner soul weed Gu Hezhou gave him to recover spirit sense. Yemo rejoiced to find that with his spirit sense being extremely fatigued, and he used corner soul weed to recover, and then used purple eye soul sever cultivation method, his spirit sense improved multiple times the speed normally. In a short time, his spirit sense fully recovered and grew stronger. The corner soul weed was very good indeed. He had impure soul nourishing well and knew it wasn't as good as the corner soul weed. The spirit refining pearl was countless times better than corner soul weed, but it was slow to form the soul nourishing liquid. He would get at most 3 drops each year, and that was with adequate spirit chi. He hadn't used the pure soul nourishing liquid yet. He was planning to save up and use bottle by bottle. Yemo came out into the sea corner again. After another day, he used countless methods: domain, cultivation, essence, giant hand, octagonal cauldron. None of them could truly stop a group of corner soul weed. They either escaped or was smashed apart. Eventually, even Yemo was planning to forge a net and use the stupid method of catching them. Gu Hezhou's method was stupid but useful. However, it was also dangerous. After catching the corner soul weed, you would be dragged by it for a while, and during this time, who knows if another corner soul weed would come attack you? Gu Hezhou knew it was a dangerous method, so he used it near the border of the island. A few more dark figures came, and a dark weed came too. Yemo's spirit sense could see it, but after a day, he found some rules. Dark weed was very fast, and domain couldn't stop it, but if it came, there would be weak ripples in his domain. At this time, he would have to dodge, or he would be hit. Luckily, there weren't a lot of dark weed here. Yemo controlled purple sword rays to hack away the dark figures and suddenly thought of a problem. If there were so many corner soul weed flying around, why does none of them collide into each other? The more Yemo thought, the more he was confused. He would have almost thought they were self-conscious if he didn't get a corner soul weed. The only possibility was that they could sense each other. Yemo thought of this, and when another black figure came, he used spirit sense blades and severed everything around it. Yemo was rejoiced to find that the corner soul weed actually slowed down and was tamely caught by Yemo. A perfect good-looking corner soul weed laid peacefully on his hands. With how it nourished his essence spirit, Yemo immediately knew it was many times better than the one Gu Hezhou gave him. So this was it. Yemo held down the excitement in his heart. He should have long thought of using this method, but he only wasted a day. Then, things were easy for Yemo. Yemo went into a frenzy of catching corner soul weed. When a power that his spirit sense could see entered his domain, Yemo knew it was another dark weed. Without hesitation, he used multiple spirit sense blades on it, and that force seemed to have lost its power and slowed down before landing on Yemo's hand. This was Yemo's first time seeing it. It was white like a snow flower and seemed very cute. It was much better for spirit sense than even the good quality clear weed. With this, Yemo no longer had the mood to collect clear weed. He charged into the depth with faster speed to collect dark weed. Luo Ying was still calm in the sea corner city, but Jiayokue was worried again. She couldn't cultivate. She held Luo Ying's hand and asked worriedly, "Sister Susu, Brother Yi had been out for 6 days, he's still not back. Would he be okay?" Luo Ying was still calm in the sea corner city, but Jiayokue was worried again. She couldn't cultivate. She held Luo Ying's hand and asked worriedly, "Sister Susu, Brother Yi had been out for 6 days, he's still not back. Would he be okay?" Luo Ying smiled. "Don't worry, just cultivate. He will definitely come back in these few days." "Okay then." Jia Yokue nodded. Before, no one dared to go around where they were, but these 2 days, there were more and more cultivators there. There were even some cauldron-filling state cultivators looking over. City Lord, that Yemo had been out for 6 days. Theoretically, he should have died at the sea corner, right? There are many cultivators spinning around those 2 girls. Should we take? A disaster transformation state cultivator reported to Wang Jing. "Idiot," Wang Jing reproached. Seeing that his subordinate didn't understand, Wang Jing said coldly, "You can be certain that he's dead with just 6 days? Gu Hezhou stays there catching corner soul weed for a century. Did he die?" "He's at the border of the island," the disaster transformation state explained, but seeing a more contemptuous look from the city lord, he knew that since Gu Hezhou was at the border, who knows if Yemo would go deep? Just when the disaster transformation state cultivator was about to go, another cauldron-filling state came and reported, "City Lord, Jiu Hezhou came back to the city. He didn't leave immediately, and doesn't seem to intend to. He brought back a news too, that Yemo learned of the benefits of the corner soul weed and went into the depth of the sea corner to hunt corner soul weed." "What?" Gu Hezhou said. "Yemo went to the depth of the sea corner?" Wang Jing couldn't help getting up. "Yes, Gu Hezhou said this indeed. He said went to the depth of the sea corner, and he couldn't stop him." The cultivator quickly replied. The disaster transformation state seemed to want to change the city lord's impression of him, and quickly said, "City lord, now that Yemo isn't here, Wang Jing waved his hand. "You've reached disaster transformation state. Can you use your brain to think? We don't know if Yemo is dead or not, but so what if he's dead? So, what if we let the 2 female cultivators stay for a decade or so? But there are some cultivators walking around their residence. I'm scared someone else would take them first," the disaster transformation state said. Wang Jing was speechless at this disaster transformation state. If this guy wasn't so loyal to him, he would have kicked him away already. "You 2 go out, don't bother me with such small things," Wang Jing said. The disaster transformation state came out and looked at the cauldron-filling state in confusion. City Lord doesn't seem to worry at all. Sigh. There are so many cultivators walking around there. Cauldron-filling state shook his head. Manager 1. "You think too much. If anyone dares to touch those 2 female cultivator, City Lord would kick those cultivators away and then protect the 2. He can even bring them back to the City Lord estate to protect them." Disaster transformation state dazed. He finally realized that the City Lord wasn't afraid there would be cultivators trying to take them. He was scared there wouldn't be FCDS trying to touch them. If there were, the City Lord could rightfully protect them. Even if Yemo's not dead, he would only thank the City Lord after coming. Gu Hezhou only told about Yemo after other people asked to break through. After he said it, he realized that Yemo left 2 extremely pretty girls here. This made him regret immediately. Seeing so many cultivators walking around their place, he immediately knew his words weren't good for them. Gu Hezhou had a great impression of Yi Mo. Yi Mo was generous and very powerful. If Yi Mo didn't go to the depth of the sea corner impulsively, he believed he would become very good friends with Yi Mo. But now, because he leaked the potential death of Yi Mo, this caused so many cultivators to be watching those two female cultivators. He wanted to protect them, but he knew that he couldn't. His power was good, but he wasn't the strongest here. City Lord was Truth Realization State Level 9. There were 2 Truth Realization State Level 7, and 6 from Truth Realization State Level 4 to Level 6. At this moment, Gu Hezhou heard a yell from the extreme grade cultivation artifact home. Move away. If you step in within 100 meters, don't blame me then. Seeing the female cultivator, he finally realized why so many cultivators were coming over. The most precious thing here wasn't corner soul weed, but women. This pale yellow-dressed female cultivator would be first-grade beauty, even in Luo Yu continent, much less here. The female cultivator next to her was also extremely beautiful. It was a disaster transformation state level 2 walking here. He of course heard the news of Yi Mo too. If he attacked too late, such a woman would belong to someone else. Since that Yi Mo was dead, he should move quickly. By then, even if a more powerful person wants her, he would have enjoyed her enough and could use her to bargain. Don't be in a rush to attack. This is the Sea Corner City. I didn't go in your house. Am I not allowed to walk on the road nearby here? The Disaster Transformation State Level 2 just said this and saw the yellow-robed female cultivator throw down a formation flag. He dazed, and before he could react, his surroundings changed. He couldn't see the female cultivator nor the cultivation home anymore. It was just a white-gray mist around him. Not good. He was in formation, the cultivator realized, and then countless sword rays loomed over him. Level 9 attack formation, one that was set up by Yi Mo. It was impracticable for a disaster transformation state level 2 to escape. In that short time, the disaster transformation state level 2 was turned to a bloody mist in the attack formation. Seeing this, all the other cultivators retreated in fear. Finally, they realized why Yi Mo could leave. This was a level 9 peak formation. If someone controlled it, even ordinary truth realization state cultivators would be killed, much less disaster transformation state cultivators. Gu Hezhou breathed easy. It seemed Yi Mo was no ordinary person to leave such a powerful attack formation behind. He quietly went back to his place. With so many spirit stones he could cultivate now. After that, no truth realization state cultivator came. Everyone knew that it wasn't that they weren't attractive enough, but the truth realization state cultivators weren't in a rush. They could wait. They had been living on here for a few hundred to few thousand years. Of course, what made them wait was Yi Mo's dominance. Yi Mo came and killed Feng Xian and his clonies immediately. Ordinary truth realization state cultivators weren't enough to take one punch from Yi Mo. Yi Mo sighed. He felt he collected enough corner soul weed. In this past 10 days he had been going to places with dense clusters of corner soul weed. At the beginning, he collected corner soul weed one by one, but later on when he got familiar with things, he could collect more than 10 at once. Even the dark weed that other people couldn't see with spirit sense, his spirit sense could sense them now. Seeing the 2 large piles of clear and dark weed, Yi Mo knew it was time for him to go back. He could stay here to keep collecting corner soul weed, but he felt it wasn't good to stay in Sea Corner for too long. There was countless corner soul weed, and Yi Mo decisively stopped collecting more. He felt he collected enough. He turned and left the depth of the sea corner without hesitation. There was countless corner soul weed, and Yi Mo decisively stopped collecting more. He felt he collected enough. He turned and left the depth of the sea corner without hesitation. Before, he was really careful and was still hit by corner soul weed a few times, but now with his speed, he was completely fine. This further made Yi Mo realize the importance of spirit sense cultivation method. He had decided to find a complete spirit sense cultivation method to cultivate no matter what. His spirit sense cultivation method was completely learned from the three-eyed purple frog. It was incomplete and not very high level. If there was an extremely high-level spirit sense cultivation method, Yemo was certain he would be much better off in here, but there were two little people who knew spirit sense cultivation method. He had seen a few spirit sense attack cultivation artifact, but no one with spirit sense cultivation method. The only person worth doubting with that Zhou Qian. He was completely unaffected by the 12 Pill King steps. Just when Yemo came back to the island, he saw a cultivator lurking at the border. Seeing Yemo, T-Hat cultivator immediately jumped up and came to Yemo. This was a cauldron-filling state level 3 female cultivator. She was extremely ugly. There were cuts all over her face. They had formed scabs and left worm-like lines all across her face. Even her hands and neck were covered in such wounds. Yemo looked at this and sighed. How could he not know this woman did this to herself? Even though her wounds could be healed with pills, she left them. Wanbei Jin Qianqing greet Yi Qianbei. The female cultivator bowed respectfully. You stayed here waiting for me? Yemo asked. Yes, Wanbei is indeed waiting for Qianbei here. Please punish me, Qianbei. Jin Qianqing didn't seem scared at all. Yemo nodded. Why are you waiting for me? Speak. Wanbei dares to ask to collaborate with Qianbei. Jin Qianqing said. Hearing this, how could he not know what she meant? She was only cauldron-filling state level 3 and wasn't too old. She probably at most spent around 10 years. If it was someone like Gu Hezhou wanting to collaborate with him, he would be overjoyed, but a new cultivator like Jin Qianqing didn't interest him at all. If she was older, perhaps he would be happier, as that would mean she knew more about the sea corner. Jin Qianqing probably realized what Yemo thought, but she didn't seem scared at all, and said, Qianbei wants the way out of here, not how long one has been staying at this island for. Some people stayed here for a few thousand years and never thought of leaving. Qianbei just came here for 2 weeks and wants to leave. She looked calmly at Yemo and continued, I believe Yi Qianbei know what Wanbei means. If it's a cultivator who doesn't want to leave, even if he stays here for 10,000 years, he isn't someone Qianbei wants to collaborate with. That's right. Yemo nodded. Tell me about your way. If you have some good way I can collaborate with you. He was shook with this Jin Qianqing's acute mind. He had only seen such insight of Jingli. He met such a smart woman again. Like Jingli, they were both observative and ugly. Jin Qianqing said the sea corner is actually an immortal formation and a high-level one. How do you know? Yemo asked in shock. Because my ancestor is an immortal formation master, a level 5 immortal formation great master, Jin Qianqing said. Yemo didn't answer. He would definitely not believe a level 5 immortal formation great master would appear in the cultivation realm. Chu Juyu was that powerful, but he was probably at most a level 1 immortal formation master. There was no immortal crystals. How could there be level 5 immortal formation great master? Jin Qianqing continued, there's no way there would be a level 5 immortal formation great master in the cultivation realm. My ancestor is an immortal, although he was only a golden immortal, his formation skills are very high. He was forced to the cultivation realm to set up formation and seal. My ancestor knew he would be killed as soon as he was done with the formation, so when he set up the formation, he said there was limitations by the cultivation realm and he couldn't set up high-level formations. The person forcing my ancestor was powerful, but his formation skills weren't as good as my ancestor. He was too powerful and couldn't come to the cultivation realm, so he could only leave everything to my ancestor. Thus, my ancestor left loopholes everywhere on the formation. That person was only leaving something in the cultivation realm and could only come down after 10,000 years.
He didn't know what my ancestor did.
My ancestor secretly set up an escape spirit formation after setting up that huge formation. Hearing this, Yemo thought of that Lu Jingquan and those seal flags. If an immortal formation master wanted to hide them, he couldn't do it? Was this done by this Jin Qianqing's ancestor? What's your ancestor's name? Is he still here? Yemo suddenly asked. Jin Qianqing looked at Yemo in confusion. Why did Yemo suddenly ask for her ancestor's name? This had nothing to do with going out. But she still answered, "My ancestor's name is Jean Jinlin. He's no longer here. It was just a hollow immortal who killed him, but that hollow immortal didn't expect my ancestor to have set up escape spirit formation already and escaped with part of his essence spirit. When my ancestor got home, he knew he wouldn't be able to stay for long, so he resisted the disperse of his essence spirit and spent a month to leave behind multiple jade slips." "What did he leave behind?" Yemo suddenly asked. Jean Qianqing frowned and said after a long while, "That's my Jean family's belonging. I want to collaborate with Qianbei because I'm a level 7 formation grandmaster, so I can understand part of this immortal formation. But my power is limited and I can't leave here alone." Yemo knew that she meant she got the teachings of her ancestors' immortal formation knowledge and thus knows some things about the Sea Corner. They could collaborate and go out, but the jade slips were her personal things. But Yemo wanted the jade slip her ancestor left behind. No matter how powerful his 3-birth chant, without the model for immortal formation, he wouldn't be able to imagine the ways to set up immortal formation. If he saw the real means of setting up immortal formation, he would be able to use 3-birth chant to create it. Yemo knew these things were extremely precious to Jean Qianqing, and she definitely wouldn't tell him this if it could be avoided. If she met a cruel cultivator, he would definitely kill her and take things. Seeing Yemo not talk, Jean Qianqing was also nervous. In here, she could only collaborate with Yemo. She had seen through the truth realization state cultivators here. If she revealed her secret, she would be killed. She came to Yemo because she could tell Luo Ying loved Yemo extremely. She warned the disaster transformation state level 2 before activating the attack formation. If Yemo was a cruel person, he wouldn't get the bone-etched love of such a woman. Jean Qianqing was prepared to self-destruct and destroy those jade slips with her if Yemo tried to force her. But little did she know she wouldn't even be able to do that. Jean Qianqing was prepared to self-destruct and destroy those jade slips with her if Yemo tried to force her. But little did she know she wouldn't even be able to do that. Just when she was extremely nervous, Yemo suddenly took out 15 corner soul weed and 2 jade bottles. "I'll use these things to exchange your jade slips." "No, not exchange. Just let me make a copy, and when I leave I will still take you with me." She thought Yemo was about to attack, but he took out things to trade with her instead. She was thinking that if she didn't trade she would die anyways, but realized that Yemo gave her corner soul weed. "Corner soul weed," Jean Qianqing called out in shock. Soon she found that they seemed very high quality, and there were 5 dark weed. How could she not know the value of corner soul weed? She had been here for a decade and long wanted one, but her ability was limited. She could only watch them come and go. But now, Yemo gave her 15, and 5 were dark weed. In all her years here, she hadn't even seen corner soul weed that were as good quality as Yemo's much less dark weed. Jean Qianqing subconsciously grabbed a dark weed. The snow-white dark weed landed in her hand and gave her an extreme sense of pleasure coming from the depth of her soul. Just how many corner soul weed did he get here? This was her first time seeing a cultivator able to catch dark weed, and catch so many too. Even if Yemo just gave her 1 dark weed, she would be willing to trade. Since Yemo was planning to trade, it meant he didn't abuse the weak. Plus, Yemo just wanted a copy of it. "Qianbei, I'm willing to exchange as long as Qianbei is willing to take my away from here." Jean Qianqing tried to calm herself down, but she couldn't. Yemo nodded, "Of course, but there's life-threatening danger in leaving here. You need to prepare. Qianbei, Wanbei knows. Even if I die here I'm willing to go with Qianbei," Jean Qianqing said with certainty. Yemo nodded. He was very happy with her attitude. If it was 2 weeks ago, there would be danger of dying, but now it was completely fine. Those lethal corner soul weed to other cultivators were just spirit sense cultivation treasures for Yemo. Jean Qianqing took out 6 jade slips and gave it to Yemo. "These are the jade slips my ancestor left behind. Please copy them, Qianbei." Yemo nodded and took out blank jade slips. Jean Qianqing carefully put the 15 corner soul weed in 15 jade boxes before looking at the 2 jade bottles. Disaster life pill? Truth spirit pill. Jin Qianqing was completely dumbfounded. Yimo's status rose and her heart drastically again. This truth realization state Qianbei seemed much younger than her, but he was extremely powerful and this wealthy. Thank you, Qianbei. Jin Qianqing bowed to Yimo. She completely trusted Yimo now. Yimo nodded and put away the copied jade slips and handed back the original to Jin Qianqing. Qianbei, according to my guess, there are countless tidal flows in this immortal formation. If we just control one rule, we can find a formation door of this formation. Jin Qianqing said. Yimo asked her, do you know one of the rules? Jin Qianqing shook her head. I haven't found one yet, but even the most patient person would need 50 to 100 years. Yimo frowned. He didn't think she was wrong. She was level 7 formation grandmaster and definitely wouldn't make a mistake in judgment here. He didn't think he would be able to find the rule in an extremely short time. Even with the help of the 3-birth chant, he would need 2 or 3 decades, but he definitely couldn't wait a few decades here before going out. Seeing Yimo frown, Jin Qianqing said, Yi Qianbei, don't worry, although I haven't found the rule. Someone on the island probably has.
Who?
Yimo blurted out. Jin Qianqing heard this and knew Yimo was more desperate to go out than her. It's the Xian brothers at the marketplace. They also really wanted to leave the city. If it wasn't that their power is too low and can't stop the corner soul weed, I would want to collaborate with them. I suspect that they knew one of the rules, but they didn't go to Qianbei when Qianbei made the public notice because they are waiting. I'm certain that if Qianbei went back to the Sea Corner City, they would come asking for collaboration immediately. They saw people daring to charge to Qianbei's home in Sea Corner City and thought Qianbei was. Yimo interrupted her and said coldly, someone dares to barge into my place. Yes, but that cultivator was killed by formation. Jin Qianqing didn't even finish and saw Yimo dashing to the city and disappeared. Jin Qianqing quickly followed. As soon as he came to the city, he saw one cauldron-filling state level 5 outside the formation. He was very respectful and said, 2 goddesses, my family estate lord is holding an auction. Please come by. No need, thank you, please go. Luo Ying's pale voice sounded. My family lord even set up spirit fruit feast and came to invite the 2 goddess. If you 2 don't go, it's hard for me to get back. The cauldron-filling state kept talking. At this moment, Yimo came out with a smile. Seeing this, that cultivator's heart was throbbing with excitement. He thought he succeeded. At this moment, a cold voice sounded, since you can't go back, then you don't need to. Then, a cultivation essence giant hand slapped over. Hearing Yimo's voice, that cauldron-filling state was scared soulless, and before he could react, he was smashed to a bloody mist. You're back. Luo Ying knew Yimo would be fine, but she was still worried. Brother Yi, you're back. Jia Yokue also ran out in joy. Yimo held Luo Ying's hand and said, Emchum, let's go in first. Jia Yokue said, these 2 days have been annoying. That house lord sends a cultivator to talk here every day about some auction or some spirit fruit fast. Yimo sneered. That family lord thought using such placid means would mean he wouldn't do anything to him. But that family lord is blind. If he was so easy to mess with, he would have long been devoured. There was no reason here. If he wasn't some cultivator who could kill Feng Xian, that family lord wouldn't use such means.
He would have came out to take them by force.
Many people saw that cauldron-filling state was just sending an invitation and was killed. This Yimo was too murderous. Many of them started to leave, fearing they would offend this slaughter god. Many people were laughing. That truth realization state level 4 family lord was over. Many didn't Yimo to have come back. Just now, a figure came up to them. It was a fat white-faced cultivator. He smiled and saluted with his fists. Brother Yi, Peng Huyan has long heard of your name, and I set up a spirit fruit feast today. Please come over. Yimo stopped him. The cauldron-filling state I just killed belonged to you. The family lord who comes here to pester us is you too. Yimo stopped him. The cauldron-filling state I just killed belonged to you. The family lord who comes here to pester us is you too? Yes, my man didn't know how to talk. Thanks for taking him out for me. I wanted to connect to Brother Yi through the two goddess. Brother Yi, please. The fat cultivator didn't even finish, and he felt his body go cold.
His face changed.
Before he could break free, a purple flame surrounded him, and a terrifying howl sounded. The scream disappeared in the flames. When the flames disappeared, the fat figure was gone. There wasn't even storage ring left. Wang Jing, who watched on the side, and sweated cold. Not long ago, he was annoyed at Peng Huiyang for not playing by the rules. The three truth realization state tertiary stage master still haven't made a move yet, and he dared to attack first, but now this annoyance was gone. Yi Mo was back and killed another truth realization state middle stage in a second. Peng Huiyang couldn't even resist. Wang Jing barely calmed himself down and flew up to Yi Mo, saluted with his fists. Brother Yi, that Peng Huiyang was asking to die, and I was about to take him out, but Brother Yi came back. Yi Mo glanced at him, and Wang Jing subconsciously froze, but he heard Yi Mo say plainly, piss off. Wang Jing's face froze. He didn't expect Yi Mo to be this rude. Was he wrong to come say hello? Even though his edges had been rubbed smooth, Wang Jing still felt insult. Since when was a truth realization state level 9 insulted like this? He felt his face go hot and his anger, but when looked at Yi Mo's eyes again, his anger froze. He knew that if they fought in no more than 10 seconds, there would no longer be Wang Jing in this world. Realizing this, Wang Jing saluted with his fists and flew off. Wang Jing was hiding on the side and still came out to say such pretty words. Such cultivators was set to die old here. Yi Mo couldn't even be bothered talking to this two-faced guy. Jin Qianqing happened to get here and see Mo tell Wang Jing to piss off, and Wang Jing didn't dare to say anything. She immediately felt quite satisfied. Not only her, but the cultivators on the side also felt satisfied. There were so many of them oppressed by Wang Jing and Feng Xian. Qianbei, Jin Qianqing called. Yi Mo nodded, go in first. Luckily, I said to wait. That Yi Qianbei is powerful indeed, but he went to the sea corner depth to catch corner soul weed. Sigh, Xian sighed. Xian, she didn't expect a person as dominant as Mo would go into the depth of the sea corner and not come back. At this moment, he almost admired Brother Ye's perceptions. But brother, wouldn't this mean we would never be able to go out? Xian, she said in discontent. If we still can't find someone to collaborate with in another 10 years, we'll go try ourselves. I really don't want to die in this place. Xian, he shook his head. Then why, Xian, she asked in confusion. He had to persuade his brother for a long while before his brother agreed to collaborate with Mo, but now it seemed his brother had long wanted to find someone to cooperate. Xian, he said heavily. Xian, she, you don't understand. That Yi Qianbei is very murderous. He came and killed quite a few people already, even Vice City Lord Feng Xian. If we collaborate with someone like that, we can get pulverized if we don't do it right. But that Feng Xian deserves to die. I'm too weak, but if I was stronger, I would have killed him already. He took Ma Yu's wife and killed him. Ma Yu's wife suicided too. So, what if he killed such a person?
Xian, she said.
Xian, he shook his head. I'm not saying Mo was wrong to kill Feng Xian, but he kills so easily. If we provide something of no value, he might immediately kill us. We just know some rules about the movement of corner soul weed and the tide in some areas. Who knows if this would be useful in going out? Xian, he just finished and got up. Xian, she got up. Clearly they saw the hustling outside. The two quickly got out and saw cultivators gathered together. What happened? Xian, she squeezed over and asked. Peng Huiyang's cultivation home was robbed. It's taken by another disaster transformation state level 9 now. One body condensation state said casually. Isn't Peng Qianbei truth realization state middle stage? Xian, he asked carefully. The cultivator turned around in contempt. Truth realization state middle stage? He was long annihilated by Yi Qianbei in a second, no less than a second. He doesn't use his brain. Even Feng Xian was annihilated by Yi Qianbei. He's a mere truth realization state level 4, and he dares to act up at Yi Qianbei's cultivation home. This is asking for death.
What?
Yi Qianbei is back.
Xian, Yi asked in joy.
Then, the two looked at each other. The cultivator said loudly, "How can Yi Qianbei be in trouble? Yi Qianbei's all-powerful, the mere sea corner." The Xian brothers had disappeared already, however. At this moment, Yi Mo held a jade slip in contemplation. He didn't expect the demon prison Forbidden Ground seal was really set up by Jin Jinlin. He was forcefully taken to Luo Yu cultivation realm by Lu Jingquan to set up seal and demon prison Forbidden Grounds formation. The main reason was because he immortal ascended from Luo Yu continent and knew demon prison Forbidden Grounds very well. Yi Mo also realized why he would have the chance to break another seal flag after breaking one already. It was cultivation resources he left for his descendants. He left loopholes in all the seal flags, including the Blue Stone Road and Stone Tablet. The Jade Slip clearly said if his descendants didn't reach Truth Realization State Level 9 and Level 9 Formation Grand Master Peak, they must not touch the seal flag. If they reached this level, the seal flag wouldn't explode. Only those with Jin family bloodline could use the Jade Slip he left behind to open the seal at Demon Prison Forbidden Grounds and then take the immortal crystals here. He said many times for the Jin family descendants to not touch Qingsheng in the depth of the Abyssal River. Jin Jinlin even thought of ways to avoid the sand soul beasts, but what confused Emo was that he didn't mention spirit-devouring bugs at all. He told the family to immediately head to Gonghua Heaven and most not go Yu Hung Heaven. From his Jade Slip, Emo realized there were 33 heavens in the immortal realm. Yu Hung and Gonghua were just two of them. Each heaven domain had a heaven lord. Lu Jingquan was Yu Hung Heaven Lord. It also recorded some rules and powers of the immortal realm. Emo didn't have the mood to look at them now. The rest of the 5 Jade Slips were about formation. It talked about level 1 to level 5 immortal formation. There were models too. Emo looked at it and knew he would need to spend at least a few years to study them. Emo believed Jin Qianqing's words and believed the sea corner was an immortal formation. But now that he had a chance to study the immortal formation, he wasn't going to rest his hopes on her. At this moment, his spirit sense scanned the Xian brothers. Jin Qianqing clearly saw them too, and immediately said to Emo, Yi Qianbei, the two people outside at the Xian brothers. "If I'm not wrong, they came after hearing Qianbei was back." Emo nodded and took out a communication bead to Jia Yokue. "Yokue, give these to them. Tell them to wait. I will let them know when I go." Emo didn't know what the tide flow meant yet. He had to study the Jade Slips first and decided if he would need the two brothers. If not, he wasn't going to be a goody-goody in here. When Emo set up the Spirit Sense Barrier Formation, he went into his Golden Page world and took out the Time Formation disc. Without it, he wouldn't be able to finish studying Immortal Formation in a short time. When Emo set up the Spirit Sense Barrier Formation, he went into his Golden Page world and took out the Time Formation disc. Without it, he wouldn't be able to finish studying Immortal Formation in a short time. "Sister Qianqing, did you do this to your face purposely?" Jiayokui looked at the hideous Jin Qianqing and asked. She had been here for a while and knew the situation here. Jin Qianqing nodded. "Yes, if I didn't do this, I would have long died. You're lucky you came with Yi Qianbei. If you came alone like me, a tragic fate would await you. The most terrifying cultivator in the city isn't Feng Xian, but that Wang Jing. He's bad in the shadows. Feng Xian is bad overtly. Wang Jing is more vicious than Feng Xian. Everyone thinks that Feng Xian is the worst, but he isn't." "How do you know?" Jia Yokue asked in confusion. Jin Qianqing thought and said, "I'm a level 7 Grandmaster, and in order to leave here I often watch the rhythm of the tide at the border of the island. I'm very careful, and I usually set up a stealth formation. One day, I saw Wang Jing come here with his Dao partner. I thought they were going to hunt for corner soul weed, but then I knew they weren't. Wang Jing ambushed his Dao partner from behind and killed her." "Huh," Jia Yokue said in shock and immediately said there must be a conflict between them.
"No."
Jin Qianqing shook her head. That female cultivator was disaster transformation state. She went to Wang Jing on her own accord and became his Dao partner. She was very obedient to him. There's no way they had conflict. Plus, I know why Wang Jing killed that female cultivator. He said something before he killed her. What did he say? Jia Yokue asked desperately. Even Luo Ying wanted to know. There was disgust in Jin Qianqing's eyes that Wang Jing is worse than a dog. He killed her and said, "You waste too much of my spirit stones. You need 10 spirit stones to cultivate every day, so I have no choice but to send you off." Huh? Jia Yokue was in disbelief. Killing his Dao partner for 10 spirit stones a day? 10 spirit stones wasn't enough to recover cultivation essence for a disaster transformation state cultivator. This was unimaginable that a truth realization state cultivator would do this. Worse than a pig. Even Luo Ying frowned and cursed. Jin Qianqing shook her head. This isn't the worst. The worst is that he pretended he was heavily injured and came back to the city holding a massive funeral for his Dao partner, grieving that she died in the corner soul weed. He said he was heavily injured trying to save his Dao partner. He would trade his life for his Dao partners. "I'll ask Brother Yi to kill this animal." Jia Yokue got up angrily. Yimo was studying immortal formation in the time formation disk, and it's been a year, and Yimo finally understood what tide flow was. It was a type of immortal formation flags positioning. Using the environment to change the location of the formation flag, while using these positions to change the formation. It was a common method of immortal formations. No wonder Jin Qianqing said that one must know the rule of the tide flow to go out. If you could find one of the rules, you could find a formation flag and use that to calculate the position of the second formation flag. This was like the Sand River in West Extreme State. If he found one seal flag, he could find the second one. But the tide flow was a changing rule, so 50 years wasn't just bare minimum time needed to find it. Thinking how the Xian brothers were only less than 500 years old, and both body condensation state, could they really find the rule? If they didn't, then Yimo knew he would have to find it himself. It wasn't practicable for Yimo to spend a few decades to watch it. Yimo was worried that since this palsy was an immortal formation, it would be very hard to tear open space here. The only way was to find the formation door. Yimo sighed. Even if the Xian brothers knew the tide flow route, Jin Qianqing was unreliable. She only could tell this was an immortal formation, but she was just a level 7 formation grandmaster. It was impossible for her to find the way out of the immortal formation. It seemed he still needed to rely on himself. Yimo focused his mind and completely devoted himself to studying immortal formation and even took out immortal crystals for experiments. The city calmed down, and no one dared to go near Yimo's place to walk around. A month later, the time formation disk stopped moving, and Yimo happened to wake up at this time. He looked at the used-up spirit stones. He didn't dare to believe he was in solitary cultivation for 9 years. He used at most this much time to reach from level 1 Formation Master to level 9 Formation Grand Master, and yet he used this much time to reach level 1 Immortal Formation Master. Luckily, it would be faster to reach level 2 Immortal Formation Master from now. The Immortal Formation means were completely different to the Cultivation Realm Formation means. Of course, everyone had different means based on their understanding of formation. Yimo was just using the formation theory of Jin Jinlins and birthed his own formation means, but it was a bit hard as he hadn't been in the immortal realm. Yimo walked out of the room and found only Luo Ying was studying pills. Jin Qianqing and Jia Yokue weren't here. Seeing Yimo come out, Luo Ying quickly got up and said, "You're doing looking at those things?" "Yes, I have an approximate understanding. We can go out." "Where's Yokue and Jin Qianqing?" Yimo held Luo Ying's hand and asked. Yokue was bored and asked Jin Qianqing to go with her to the market. Luo Ying said. Yimo was speechless. There was no point in going there. There was no good things. Here, he casually put away his cultivation artifact cultivation home and was prepared to leave here. Before Yimo made a notice, Jin Qianqing, Jia Yokue, and the Xian brothers were here. They immediately acted me up to greet Yimo Xian. He was robust and seemed innocent, but he was very cunning. he said without need Mo to ask. My brother and I have been here for 90 years. Ever since we got here we've been thinking of all ways to go out. We're weak, but we know some of the rules of how the corner soul we'd move in the southeast direction, and some of the tide times at the island. Southeast? Mo repeated. There was no sense of direction here. How did they know? Xin, she said in embarrassment. Yi Qianbei, we just set up the directions ourselves in order to convenience our observations. Good method. Mo raised his thumb. But there was a flaw in this way. Using experience to judge may result in error. The compass used formation to point the way, but compasses didn't work here. This made Mo think of a thing that wouldn't point with formation. He took out an exquisite hairbrush. Brother, you have a brush? Jiayokue could tell it was for girls to use. Mo saw Luoing come over and smiled apologetically to her. I met a girl near Flowing Snake called Shi Wanqing. She went missing in Luoyu continent. Mo saw Luoing come over and smiled apologetically to her. I met a girl near Flowing Snake called Shi Wanqing. She went missing in Luoyu continent. Mo sighed. He was worried about where Shi Wanqing went. Luoing was a little uncomfortable, but hearing this explanation, she immediately said, I know Qi Wanqing. She came over with Sister Yuehua, but we don't know where she is. We need to go find her if we have the time. Mo's tone was dejected. I didn't find her in North Far State, nor West Extreme State. South Peace State is too big. I believe if she is in South Peace State, she would be able to hear about MOU City. She didn't come over. I'm afraid she isn't in South Peace State. Luoing went up and held his hand. Don't worry, just like me, I had been in Black Ice sect cultivating and never cared about what happened outside. If I wasn't with Beiwei, I wouldn't even know you were at South Peace State. Maybe Qi Wanqing is like me. She would be able to come to MOU City when she is strong enough. Mo nodded. She gave me this hairbrush. There's a telephone number on it. It's also a military compass. Oh, this is a compass? Yokue squeezed over looking at the small thing embedded in the hairbrush. Luoing smiled. Yes, it always points to the south. So this direction is south? Yokue pointed at the small pointer. Mo shook his head. Not necessarily. This compass is made based on magnetic field theory. The direction it points on Luoyu isn't necessarily south, but the direction wouldn't change, and it wouldn't be affected by the formation here like the formation compass. Seeing Mo take out something that could point directions, Xin walked over nervously. Yi Qianbei. Then Mo waved his hand. Your experience is very good. I'm willing to collaborate with you guys. Let's go together. Then, Mo released Blue Moon. Get on. We'll leave the sea corner now. As soon as Blue Moon activated, a dashing light came. Mo looked at the person. Brother Gu. Are you coming with us? Gu Hezhou shook his head. I know I don't have a way to persuade you to stay. Many cultivators who thought they could leave left, and there was no news of them ever again. Then cultivators who came in again say they didn't make it out. I can only wish you success, Brother Yi. Take care. Gu Hezhou admired Mo greatly for being able to come back from the depth of the sea corner, but he didn't think Mo could get out. Gu Hezhou thought of his own life too seriously. Mo was planning to give him a bottle of pills before he left, but when Peng Huiyang sent people to harass Luoing and Jiayokue, he didn't even come help. Mo laughed. In that case, I'm going. Take care. Then, Blue Moon disappeared from the city. Seeing this, there was a faint sense of regret. He couldn't describe it. He felt that he should have gone with Mo. Seeing this, Wang Jing breathed easy. His face was gloomy, but pity he knew that even if Mo slapped his face, he wouldn't be able to do anything to Mo. He glared at Gu Hezhou. If he didn't always spend his time in the sea corner, he would want to take revenge on him. Blue Moon didn't fly very far and stopped at the border of the island. Mo took out a jade slip to Xin. Inscribe the rule you know and the title situation. Xin handed a jade slip he prepared already to Mo. Qianbei. I've already recorded it. Please have a look. Mo nodded. He was very happy with this Xin. Countless years and countless cultivators had been trapped here. Some of them would know more than the Xin brothers, but none of them made it out. Even the Xian brothers might eventually die of old age or to the corner soul weed here. Compared to them, at least they tried to go out. These more powerful cultivators like Wang Jing had a sliver of chance, but if they've given up the will to go out, they killed that last line of hope for themselves. Yi Mo looked at the jade slip and checked it out himself before giving it to Jin Qianqing. Then, he controlled Blue Moon to flying slowly into the depth. The Xian brothers have always been watching here and could tell that Yi Mo was flying towards the direction they found through the rule and rejoiced. At least the news they provided was useful. But soon they felt something wrong. Blue Moon went faster and faster. Eventually it was faster than extreme grade cultivation artifact. Seeing this, their hearts hung up and even regretted. This Yi Qianbei didn't buy into anyone at the city due to his power, and even in here, he was this impulsive. The corner soul weed wouldn't care who you are. If they continued like this, they would be killed by the corner soul weed. Now, they were flying far from the direction they studied. Regardless if Yi Mo was seeking death, the Xian brothers knew they wouldn't be able to leave even if they studied here for 1,000 years. Thinking about this, they just admitted to fate. Jin Qianqing was also completely lost too. Yi Mo was overjoyed, however. He found that the Xian brothers' rule only applied to a few hundred kilometers, and they weren't able to leave here with that. But soon he found that the compass pointed in the direction of the corner soul weed flow. The tidal flow was completely useless. This meant he didn't even need to look at their jade slip and just keep flying using the compass. What shook Yi Mo was that he found when heading in this direction, no matter how fast he was, no corner soul weed came over. Sometimes, the corner soul weed was clearly about to ram into Blue Moon, but it suddenly changed direction. An ordinary cultivator would be overjoyed, but Yi Mo was annoyed. He was planning to collect more corner soul weed on the way, but he couldn't catch even one. Yi Mo kept changing directions, but he was only following the compass as the needle kept changing directions. An ordinary compass had such effect. Yi Mo was overjoyed. Soon the brothers and Jin Qianqing found that no matter how fast Yi Mo went, they didn't smash into corner soul weed no matter what. The Xian brothers were overjoyed. It seemed Yi Qianbei really knew how to get out. Jin Qianqing admired Yi Mo even more. She knew from Jiayokue that Yi Mo was a level 9 formation grandmaster, and now Yi Mo used just 9 days looking at the jade slips left behind by her ancestor and found a way out. Yi Mo didn't think so. He felt this wasn't just a formation. He would rather think this was a high-level natural formation than an immortal formation. The sea corner didn't seem big when they came in, but when they left it seemed huge. One day later, Blue Moon turned 180 degrees and kept flying as though they were flying back. Yi Qianbei, are we going around in circles here? Jin Qianqing finally couldn't resist asking. No, Yi Mo said affirmatively. He was taken directionless by the compass, but he knew they weren't going around in circles.
No.
Yi Mo said affirmatively. He was taken directionless by the compass, but he knew they weren't going around in circles. This was more than one Blue Moon had turned 180 degrees. Other than Luo Ying, the rest of the people were starting to think Blue Moon was going in circles. On the 4th day, a huge coral appeared before them. Only now did they realize that Blue Moon really didn't go in circles. But Yi Mo soon found that even if Blue Moon left this coral, the compass was pointing here. This meant that he would still be brought back here. Everyone else realized this problem and looked at Yi Mo. Yi Mo carefully released his spirit sense out and checked before saying, this isn't necessarily an immortal formation. Even if it is, it wouldn't be lower than level 6. This isn't something we can break out of. Huh. Jin Qianqing was dumbfounded. This meant that even if her ancestor was here, they might not be able to get out. Yi Mo put away Qi Wanqing's brush and said, the sea corner is probably a sealed-off dimension. If you want to leave, you would have to tear open space. Hearing this, they looked at each other. Tear open space? To be able to tear open the space in the cultivation realm, one must be more powerful than hollow immortal. Was this something a cultivation realm cultivator could do? And even if you're extremely powerful, You wouldn't be able to tear open space at other places. The only possibility is here. Yemo pointed at the coral. His power was beyond hollow immortal and had been to the void fissure. Yemo continued, this space isn't necessarily to another realm. It might quite possibly lead to the Heartless Sea, but the stability of this space is no lower than any void space. Brother Yi, how do you know? If we really need to tear open space, what do we do? My dad said those cultivators who can tear open space are very rare, powerful beings, Jiayokue said. Yemo smiled and didn't know how to reply. He had a feeling that outside here was the Heartless Sea, but he couldn't explain this. If it wasn't for the compass, we wouldn't be able to come here, but now that we are, I can try. Yemo saw the other people except Luoing look at him in confusion, clearly not thinking he would be able to tear open space. Yemo signaled everyone to go into Blue Moon and threw out a few formation flags. He set up acceleration formation and then used all of his cultivation essence and spirit sense and grabbed. Ripples invisible to the eye spread out and Blue Moon shaked. Everyone felt the surroundings shake as though Blue Moon was about to fall into an endless abyss. The space was shaking greater and greater until there was a low humming sound. Yemo's face grew more and more pale. He thought since Chu Jiu could tear open space, he would be fine, but now that he tried, he realized how hard it was. Luckily, he could still feel the space barrier. Weaker cultivators wouldn't even be able to feel it. Open, Yemo roared, and a light crack sounded. A black crevice was torn open by Yemo. Before they could react, Yemo took Blue Moon and darted in through the acceleration formation. Then, Blue Moon disappeared, and the void fissure closed. A mere truth realization state level 8 little guy is already absurd enough to be able to find here. I didn't expect he would be able to tear open the dimensional barrier here. A blue-robed cultivator appeared on the rock when Blue Moon disappeared. There seemed to be a binding on him that even spirit sense couldn't see, making him unable to leave here. After a long while, he laughed, Jua. You can't blame me. He found here himself, and before I even woke up he tore open the space barrier. You are to blame yourself. This space barrier can't even stop a truth realization state level 8. Hee, I'll pretend I saw nothing and go back to sleep. Heartless Sea. This is the Heartless Sea. Exine Y looked at the sea surface and breathed the spirit chi-filled air. The Exine brothers and Jin Qianqing were ready to die with Yemo, but they really succeeded. Yi Qianbei, I didn't expect you to be able to leave the sea corner so easily. Jin Qianqing, thank you for saving my life. Jin Qianqing was shaking with emotions. After their excitement, Exine kneeled down to Yemo. Yi Qianbei, Wanbei's life is yours now. If you don't mind us, Wanbei will go back and bring my wife to follow Qianbei. Yemo approved of Exine Y's meticulous and careful attitude, but he didn't want them to follow. He let them get up and said, I just casually helped, plus you guys helped a lot too. I thought we brothers were going to die at the sea corner, but Qianbei left so easily. Exine, he was too excited. Easy? If he didn't have their experience, Jin Qianqing's jade slip and Qi Wanqing's brush, would he be able to leave? Even if that was all satisfied, Yemo didn't know that if the blue-robed guy wanted to stop him, he wouldn't be able to get out as well. It seemed easy to others when he tore open the dimension, but he was God's state body refinement. His cultivation essence was on par with hollow, immortal cultivator. Even so, he almost spat blood tearing the barrier open. Only Luoing knew Yemo's hardship and quietly asked him, are you okay? I'm fine. Just some cultivation essence backlash. I'll be good. Yemo patted Luoying's hand. He knew that Luoying seemed to calmest, but her emotions to him were on par in intensity as Ning Qingxue. She always hid the intensity in front of others. Where is Qianbei going? Xin, she wanted to follow Yemo even more. Solo cultivators like them would have much better cultivation environment if they found a good sect. Yemo was a master he had never seen before, and his temperament was super. Those two truth realization state level 9 in the city were trash compared to him. Yemo smiled. I'm going to East Black State. If you're going to East Black State, I can take you there. If you want to go South P State, you can come with me too. After I'm done with East Black State, I'll be going back to South Peace State. Before they replied, Jin Qianqing bowed to Qianbei. Wanbei wishes to follow Qianbei back to South Peace State. Yemo waved his hand, no problem. After I'm done with East Black State, we can go back together. We might even take the teleportation formation back. Xian, she said excitedly, Qianbei, we're going to East Black State. My big brother needs to pick up his wife. If Qianbei is willing, we will follow Qianbei back to South Peace State together. South Peace State spirit chi was so much better than East Black State. Xian, she knew that their power was quite good at East Black State, but it was nothing at South Peace State. Of course I have a city in South Peace State called Mou City. You can settle there. Yi Mo agreed, without hesitation. I know where this is, Jiayokue said. This is the east side of Lost Soul Ruins. A little bit down is my Juin Island, Jiayokue said desperately, and looked at Emo. Clearly she wanted to go check it out. This is the east side of Lost Soul Ruins. A little bit down is my Juin Island, Jiayokue said desperately, and looked at Emo. Clearly she wanted to go check it out. Emo didn't expect to come to here. Everyone looked back. There was no sign of Sea Corner. The Sea Corner was indeed everywhere. No one would know where it would appear. Yokue, lead the way. We'll go see Juin Island. Emo knew what Jiayokue meant, and said. This was the first time coming to Juin Island, but Emo approved of Jiafeng greatly. He didn't know what it looked like before, but it definitely wasn't like this. The island was full of craters, and there was a few huge ravines showing that the spirit range here was taken away. Jiayokue flew onto the island and started crying at the ruins. She had been living here for a few decades, but now it turned into this. Her father was not known if alive, and so were her sisters. Luo Ying and Jin Qianqing went down to comfort her. Emo and Xian brothers came down too. From the position of the island, Emo could tell it was definitely an extremely good place to cultivate in the Heartless Sea. However, this Uzesian was really cruel, damaging it like this. I'm going to get revenge with that woman. Jiayokue couldn't hold the anger in her heart and clenched her fists. But Emo felt Jiafeng wasn't necessarily killed by Uzesian. He hadn't seen Jiafeng fight, but he knew Jiafeng wasn't simple. He was definitely no match for Uzesian, but it was quite possible he was able to escape from her. Jiayokue asked Emo to seal the island with a formation and add essence blood verification, allowing only people from the Jia family to enter. Then she left a jade slip inside, tell her family to go look for her at South Peace State Mou City. Emo was originally planning to look for trouble with Uzesian, but now that she said this, she would lose motivation to cultivate if he annihilated Peng Island. He would teach the spirit sense cultivation method to Jiayokue. As for if she would be strong enough to take on Uzesian, Emo knew that despite Uzesian being powerful, he believed that Jiayokue wouldn't be weaker than her after his tutelage. It was probably impossible for Jiayokue to get revenge in the cultivation realm, as she probably ascended already, but at least Jiayokue could go annihilate her Peng Island. Blue Moon sped up after leaving the island, and the Xian brothers finally realized that Blue Moon was at its max speed before. With such speed, it probably wouldn't take long from East Black State to South Peace State. They were guessing what level Blue Moon was, half immortal artifact or immortal artifact. Blue Moon howled past. The spirit beasts on the side long hid away, seeing Blue Moon's speed. Good flying magic artifact was eye-catching, but if it was too good, it would make people scared. Without enough power, who would dare to waltz around the Heartless Sea with it? The Xian brothers didn't stay inside to rest. They stood on the deck the entire month. Their hearts were filled with excitement and this indescribable feeling. When they came to the Heartless Sea, they had to be careful, fearing they would be caught by high-level cultivators or a spirit beast. But now, they arrogantly howled past in the sky without hiding at all. This was power. They couldn't describe their admiration for Emo with words. They had made up their mind to follow Emo to South Peace State to cultivate. There were a few high-level spirit beasts, and even a level 11 spirit beast, as well as few truth realization state cultivators, but none dared to stop Blue Moon. They wouldn't even be able to stop it in the first place as well. A month later, 6 cultivators acme to a south coastal city of East Black State. 3 men and 3 women. They were Yemo and them, and they arrived at Shitong City. They came here because the Xian brothers had a merchant association here. They were finding resources here all the time, and when they were strong enough, they just set up their own merchant association. The 2 left the city in adventure and accidentally went into the sea corner. Big brother, why did Ishi Merchant Association change names? Xian, she looked at the Gung Mei Merchant Association sign and asked. Xian, frowned. They had been out for 100 years, but in the cultivation realm there were cases where the owner of the merchant association had been gone for more than 1,000 years. Go in and ask. Xian, frowned. They weren't there, but there were their men. His Dao partner would manage this place too. Something must have happened. Xian and Xian, she walked in, but it was an attendant. They didn't know who greeted them. Xian dazed and immediately asked, where is the owner of this merchant association? Seeing Xian, why, I was much more stronger than him, he said politely, friend, if you need anything you can ask me. Xian 11 asked, isn't this place Ishi Merchant Association? Why did it become Gung Mei Merchant Association? The attendant quickly said, the name was changed by the boss. I don't know why the change occurred. Xian and Xian 11 glanced at each other and said, call out your owner, or we will smash this place. Yes, I'll call immediately. The attendant quickly sent a message. After a long while, 2 cultivators got down, 1 male, 1 female. The male immediately looked at Luoying, and his eyes couldn't move again. Mo frowned. He was very annoyed. Lu Xuangang, what happened? Why are you in my shop? When did my shop become yours? Xian, she cursed. This Lu Xuangang was their enemy. The cultivator only now saw Xian 11 and his face changed. His eyes blinked, not knowing what to say. Brother, Xian, she just realized that Xian Yi's hands were bursting with veins as he stared at that female cultivator. He reacted and called, sister-in-law. You guys are back. The female cultivator said bitterly, and didn't do anything. Mo heard Xian she say that his brother and sister-in-law's relationship was very good. Xian was thinking of his wife everywhere, but they came back and met in such a way. Xian Yi's face was green, and after a moment he spat blood. Xian, she quickly held him. Brother, are you okay? Even if the merchant association is taken away, we can take it back. Plus, we don't need it now. We're going with Yi Qianbei to South Peace State. We don't need this shitty merchant association. Nothing to be angry about. Xian didn't say anything. This female cultivator was his Dao partner Wu Mei. They had been together for 100 years. How could he not know her? Her ears were red and breathing heavy. This meant she just had sex with someone else. She was like this every time they had sex. He didn't come back for 100 years and this happened. How could he not be furious? This was a huge irony to their past affection. Wu Mei, very well, very well. Xian Yi's hands were shaking uncontrollably. That woman who kept saying she couldn't leave him at all. The woman who thought for him about everything not only gave his shop away, but to his enemy. Xian 11 immediately realized that Lu Xuangang not only took their shop and got together with sister-in-law. This made Xian, she burst out in fury and released his magic artifact. In that instant, Xian, she's magic artifact shot a dark ray at Lu Xuangang. He was body condensation state level 7. Xian, she was only body condensation state level 4. He definitely was no match for Lu Xuangang. In that instant, Xian, she's magic artifact shot a dark ray at Lu Xuangang. He was body condensation state level 7. Xian, she was only body condensation state level 4. He definitely was no match for Lu Xuangang. Seeing this, Lu Xuangang sneered. He wasn't scared of Xian 11 at all. He stayed at the same power while he reached body condensation state level 7. A mere body condensation state middle stage dared to fight him a body condensation state tertiary stage? He released a dark ring. In his eyes, the Xian brothers were lonely ghosts. Since they got caught in his hands, he wasn't going easy. He sneered, Exine, I slept your woman, so what? He was about to release his magic artifact, but then he opened his mouth in shock. He found he completely couldn't move and could only watch as Xian's magic artifact loomed over him. At this moment, how could Xian not know Yemo was helping him? He fully activated his magic artifact without any defense. The female cultivator on the side also realized something was wrong. He was hoping Lu Xuangang would kill the brothers and she wouldn't feel guilty, but now she saw Lu Xuangang couldn't move. She quickly called, Stop, he's 8-star sect Chongqing sect's elder's personal disc bowl. You can't. But before she finished, Xian's magic artifact tore open Lu Xuangang. Bloody sprayed everywhere. Xian 11 couldn't completely obliterate people like Yemo, but he felt this was more satisfying. An essence spirit flew out from Lu Xuanggang's body, but before it charged out very far it was devoured by a black figure. It was shadowless. Yemo disliked this Lu Xuangang, so he gave his essence spirit to shadowless. Bitch, Xian, she looked coldly at Wu Mei and said. Wu Mei's face was white, and she said shakily, This isn't my fault. You went out for more than 100 years. How can I hold this merchant association together alone? I could only work with someone. Bullshit, work with someone in bed? Shameless wretch. Big brother was thinking of you every day and came back to pick you up. Xian, she spat. Xian suddenly shook his head. Xian, don't say any more. We've already wasted a lot of Yi Qianbei's time. Let's go. There's nothing left for me to cherish here. Go. You killed my Chongqing sect members and you want to leave. A cold voice sounded. The Xian brothers just realized that outside the shop was filled with cultivators. A long-haired cultivator walked in and looked coldly at the Xian brothers. Wu Mei looked down in embarrassment, seeing this cultivator. Mei, come over, who killed my disciple? Never mind, I'll kill them all. Remember, it's Chu Liang from Chongqing sect who killed you. The long-hair cultivator scanned them, and then he saw Luo Ying and Jie Yokue. Then, he couldn't take his eyes off them anymore. Seeing this, how could Xian not know that this woman slept with master and disciple? He howled into the sky, Xian was blind to love a filthy bitch like you. Killing you is dirtying my hands. Piss off. Wu Mei, who had some regret, heard this and lost her sense of regret. She said coldly, I don't owe you anything. You have no right to say this to me. Xian didn't reply. It was as though Wu Mei was just air. Wu Mei sneered. Yemo scanned Xu Liang's eyes and there was contempt on his face, a mere disaster transformation state level 3, and he dares to say shit. Xian 11. Go kill him. Xian, she heard this and immediately answered, yes, Yi Qianbei. Yemo killed truth realization state level 9 easily. This disaster transformation state elder dared to act cocky to him. He released his magic artifact and snarled, remember, the one who killed you is Xian 11. Then, he pierced his magic artifact like he did to Lu Xuangang. Everyone was dazed. A body condensation state cultivator dared to attack Chu Liang and say such cocky words. Was his brain disabled? Chu Liang laughed in fury. I want to see how you're going to kill me. But like Lu Xuangang, he only said half a sentence, and there was terror in his eyes. He clearly saw Xian's magic artifact attack him, but he couldn't resist at all. Domain, truth realization state cultivator, Chu Liang said. Splurge. Blood exploded out. No matter how powerful a disaster transformation state cultivator was, if he couldn't move at all being bound by Yemo's domain, even a golden core state cultivator could kill him. An essence spirit flew out and was also gobbled by Shadowless. Wu Mei looked dazedly at her two men being killed by Xian, she not believing Xian, she was this powerful. Let's go. Yemo shook his head and said, Haha, Brother Yi, people really encounter people everywhere in life. A blue shirt man called out and saluted with his fists. Yemo immediately recognized this cultivator and saluted with his fists happily. Brother Fu, people indeed meet everywhere. Fu Wu was a friend Yemo met in the small world. He saved Ji Mei due to him, and this woman wanted to follow Yemo. The three drank together, and Ji Mei became his maid. She had deep calculations, and Yi Mo had forgotten about this woman, but Fu Wu was a worthy friend. His ideal was to walk through all the famous mountains and lands. Now that he was at East Black State, did he still believe so too? I didn't expect Brother Yi would always be ahead of me. In the Hang Shui city in the small world, you were much stronger than me, and here you're still much stronger than me. Fu Wu laughed, but he didn't seem unhappy at all. Before Yi Mo could reply, he said, "Let's go find a place to drink. These people are..." Yi Mo simply introduced everyone. Fu Wu's character immediately got everyone's good impression. Jin Qianqing kept looking at Fu Wu, but pity his power was too weak, only nascent soul state. They found a spirit rest tower, and Fu Wu said to Yi Mo, "I wanted to find you before, but you left the small world, and I came to East Black State. I thought I would never be able to see you again, but I saw you now."
I can tell you this now.
Yi Mo took out a 10,000-year stalagmite marrow wine and took out 7 cups, pouring some for everyone. "Brother Fu, please continue." Fu Wu's face turned serious. "Brother Yi, I heard you were looking for a woman called Mu Xiaoyan in the small world? She's a sect members of the Ice Lake, is this true?" Yi Mo got up suddenly and grabbed Fu Wu's hands in excitement. "That's right, Brother Fu, Mu Xiaoyan is my wife. Where is she?" You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.